What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Multiway spots with screen share on using the Prometheus solver. So we start here. Queen Jack should open in the hijack. I think that's 100% in the hijack. Yeah, it's got to be. But he chooses not to, which leaves the eights to open. Nines here on the button. Easy call, easy three bet. Both make sense. He calls. Jack eight needs to fold. King five. I would call this. I don't know if it's right in a three-way pot. Certainly in a non-raised pot, you can do calls here, and you can also raise the hijack with king five suited. Both work. He's going to call. That seems fine. All right, go to the flop. Everybody misses. King five should check. Let's see. In this situation, I think king five checks range on this board. Eights is the pre-flop raiser. Can bet this, and it seems like his best choice is to just check behind and hope for showdown and not try to protect his eights by getting someone to fold their, jack queen overcards and just live with it because it's multi-way and someone could have a four, especially the big blind, and the 10 is easy. So I think he should check. He bets, and he bets small with a small bet. Nines, I don't think they fold yet. I think they fold on the turn and they see what the king five does. The nines are bad because they're in the sandwich. It's just terrible because you don't know what the kings will do. But to this small bet, I just don't think you can fold. He calls. The king five gets out of the way smartly. Now the eights should just pray for showdown, should check. They do. The nines should pray for showdown and check. Because a 10 would easily check behind here. And just in case hero has a four. So I don't know who this idiot is, why he's betting this. But he does. He gets the call. And now he's praying for showdown. Six, and I think he's going to get it. The eights check, and now the nines. The nines have to check and take the pot. And they do. All right. So I won the pot. Let's see how badly I played it. All right.
I would say not too poorly. I don't think your turn bet is unreasonable.
Okay, let's find out. Let's find out in solver land.
I think it falls into thin value. Yeah, I think it's a fine bet.
Right. Okay, so he was the, we can't do cutoff button. Well, maybe we can. Hold on.
We should be able to.
Yeah, let's try this. Let's go. Cutoff. Oh, we can. Cutoff, button, and big blind. All right, let's make sure all the ranges are represented. So the flop is 10-4-4, and the suits just for fun. Diamonds, spade, club.
Hey, and real quick, Scotty, one thing that after kind of looking at some things.
Yes.
Pre-flop ranges, like we've been used to studying on GTO Wiz.
Yeah.
And the pre-flop ranges that Prometheus used is a little different in that the percentages are pretty darn close, like the overall percentages, but the ranges are like the amount of lower pairs that Prometheus calls versus GTO Wiz. Like we've seen GTO Wiz fold a ton of like low pairs on the button and small blind and that sort of thing. Whereas Prometheus has a higher density of that stuff. There's slight differences there that probably make a difference, but just wanted to point that out.
Yep. And also in the wild, there is no chance that the flatting ranges of our opponents are the Prometheus flatting ranges. Because we know
nor GTO Wiz even. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. The big blind's going to have king 10 offsuit. Which does he have here? He does, surprisingly. Things like, so.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think actually, after looking at what Prometheus uses, I think they're closer to kind of like real world typical player ranges because of the fact that they're calling small pairs and medium pairs and suited connectors up to like two gappers,
right?
A lot more frequently than GTO Wiz does.
Yeah. So in this case, our big blind has the king five suited. Good. So that's nice. So this is not exactly a check range board, but you might as well simplify this to check range. How much EV do you lose by that simplification? Seems very little. So, but clearly the king five suited checks. That's great. So there's our check. This guy has 8-8 all over the place. And so yeah. It's a hard decision with 8-8. So that's what we get. And he does the bet version of it. And his bet is, let's do the bets in big blinds.
He
His
did
bet-
B25.
Yeah, his bet is 2 big
He went
blinds.
2 into 8.
Yeah, 2 into 8. And our guy, we had a slightly higher because our guy opened to 2.5, not to 2. So we have a higher, slightly higher. Oh no. Are we at 200 big blinds? Whatever. Here we go. So he does the bet of 2 this time. The 9s here. Let's get all the things in there. The 9s can't fold. Great. That made a lot of sense. All right. The king 5 has got to get the hell out of the way. Easy, easy. The turn is the deuce of clubs. And now we see what we think of the 8s. The 8s can continue betting. They check more than they bet. Makes sense. 9s. All right. You were right. It's not so bad. Not so bad. Not necessary. The check is more often. We did it. 8s do not fold. They just go, all right. I'm not happy either. In the river, the 6 of diamonds. And we're just going to assume that this is going to be a check. Just checks range, even when he has it. So you're going to, when you have a really good hand here, which you never do, you never have a 4, but you can hit pocket, you can miraculously hit pocket 6s. And that's all you can hit. You can hit pocket 6s on the river. And when you do, when you get that miracle, you check for going for the check raise. And when the other person has 9s, you don't get to check raise. So what gets to bet the river in this line? Rivered 6s, the 10s that you're happy with, all the 10s get to bet for value. And then your bluff is the queen jack that got here and the king jack that got here. Assumedly, these have clubs.
What
No.
size is it using? It's using a small size bet.
It is going for the, let's see, how do we tell? It's this color, I guess. Oh, we just look here and see. It's all over the 13 big blinds into 18. No,
Okay.
it's big.
Using like a B60 or something.
Yeah. 13 into 18 is over 66, 67, 68%. Because 12 is 66%. All right.
And it's mixing in some big bets with these bluffs.
Mm-hmm.
And its big bet value is rivered 6s, it looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Maybe some ace 10.
So I was in a hand, well, it was multi-way, where it was exactly the situation where the guy's big bet on the river made no sense. He had no 4s in his range. He wouldn't have played his 10. The 10 was a king at that point, and he wouldn't have played it that way. The river's an ace, and it makes no sense to me. And so I called him down with my pocket jacks, and it was the rivered 6.
Ah,
It was the turn 6. It was the turn 5 version of it. So he has nothing on the flop. He gets the full house on the turn and calls it. And then when I check the river and he bets, I go, this doesn't make sense. Well, I didn't even think about the turn. And I lost 25 big blinds. It was, I kind of beating myself because 25 was a big bet for the hand and for the table, but not a giant loss. But I thought, why not fold? I think that's my biggest leak is calling rivers too much. I think I see bluffs too often because we constantly say, what are the bluffs? And so I go, oh, maybe he's bluffing, and they're never bluffing. And and that's my mantra, which is my mantra needs to be, I'm always bluffing, they're never bluffing. I'm always bluffing, they're never bluffing. I don't say it enough. All right. Up next is Larry. I give you this.
alright, so the ace-8 suited can open. And I don't even, and it should be heads up, and I think big blind just barely defends this.
Yeah.
but king ten is not a call, but I think we're gonna see a call from king ten.
Yeah, king ten seems like a very bad call. Oh, sorry, wrong button. King ten seems like a very bad call in this situation. We'll see how bad the solver says it is. And once the king ten calls, what do you think of the queen seven now, multi-way?
Mm, It's really cuspy.
Yeah,
I probably would fold it actually.
yeah. On that idea of we want to tighten up when the button's in, because now we're out of position against two players. I think we do more of our tightening up on the offsuit side. So while we're going to tighten up our suited range, and I think the king queen seven falls out of it, I don't think it's as extreme. We'll take a look.
Yeah, I think it's a fold.
All right. Going on.
So, multi-way, 336. So this is an interesting, so villain should check, villain 30 should check. It's an interesting hand because the paired low board. I mean, really, the only thing they should have is ace three suited threes.
Mhm.
They shouldn't have 4-3 suited, including big blind. I don't think gets 4-3 suited. This might be one we can exploitatively bet on because it misses their range, which are we do have middle pairs, but they're stripped to probably jacks plus. I might bet here on this particular board because of the low pairing, but I think checking is fine too.
Right. I'm going to make the prediction that the suits matter and that the one that bets the most
Excuse
is
me.
ace eight of clubs, and the one that bets the least is, of course, the ace eight of hearts. That's what I'm going to, that's going to be my prediction. We'll check that out.
Yeah.
Here we go. He checks.
King 10, shouldn't be here, but they should probably just check.
His range doesn't mind betting. He has a lot of medium pocket pairs.
That's valid.
There's a lot of eights and sevens and six, eights, sevens, sixes. Even
Yeah,
nine.
it's just, I mean, this is important to see because we see just no one has equity here except backdoor stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's really probably bottom of range. Maybe he could bet. I think that's valid.
I keep hitting the wrong button. I apologize.
That's all right.
All right, here we go.
So let's see what he does. He checks.
That can't be wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's gonna be interesting. So, 131 can claim this, but multi-way, I think it's very hard to pull this bluff off.
Mhm.
Again, it could be influenced by the cards, but I think I'd like to I have a semblance of showdown, and I like to have more equity to bet here.
Mhm.
Uh,
He just decides it's good for his range.
yeah, which is fine, but multi-way gets a little bit sketchy. So obviously, he should call villain 33.
Yep.
Big blinds will fold.
Never raise.
Yeah, kicker's not good enough for a raise.
Yep.
So if he's chosen to take this line, he now, I think, should continue it. So what is he trying to fold out? He's trying to fold out middle pairs like sevens through tens,
Mhm.
seven through jacks. So he needs the double barrel here. And he should go anywhere from B75 to pot on this very safe 4.
Mhm.
But he's gonna make, okay, so now this becomes a question of whether if you thin value bet. I think you do thin value bet here. I mean, so he's gonna fold often when he makes this line, but he's still, he has some part of his range that might call.
Yep.
I think a check raise here is very rare on this 4 of diamond river. So I think you thin value for B50 to B75.
Right. And if we see on this board, if he bets and the solver gives him a 33, a Matt Affleck breaking 33, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
It's
He checks behind.
yeah. I think you need to I think leaning towards I'm trying to lean more towards thin value.
Yeah.
And understand I fold to all check raises, but I think you have to bet that.
Yeah. All right. So we're in 2.5 land. Low jack raises. button with the king 10 is way off
Yeah,
base. And that's why that's the solver's problem is when the solver has a king here, we're gonna have to do it as king 10 suited with an offsuit one. That's how we're gonna get the equivalent. And the king 10 suited felt bad, and it was. Got that.
I think we don't start calling here until like probably queen 9 or queen 10.
And then you look here at our guy with his queen 7 is way off. And
Yeah.
without the call, let's see how this influences it. See how much this changes. Look at that. And it's all over the suited branch too. So in the offsuit branch, here we have ace 10, ace 10 all the time and king jack mixing. You put in the button call, and in the offsuit branch, the big blind goes, the ace 10 is gone. The king jack now can do some raising, but it's doing no calling.
Yeah,
And
so our
ace
cuspy
jack.
hands now are becoming squeezed.
Yeah. So you go away here, and then on the suited side, this was the thing I was wrong about. The suited side cleans out a ton too. And without knowing what the exact, I don't think we need to learn, the exact range of it. But you look here, and we'll just see. Queen 7 was too far off, but queen 9 is in there. Queen 9 and all your gappers, right? You put in the button, and you get your low gappers stay in. So it's this area here sucks out. All these kings that we're calling here are all gone. And
Yeah.
the thing I want to point out in this, you have all this richness here is gone, is that this is very bit different, I believe, when the small blind calls and you're out of position against one player. Against a single small blind call,
That different, but
yeah, look at your offsuit difference here. Ace jack, king jack.
I wonder if some of this has to do with the fact that you now at least have position on
Yep.
small blind.
You have, or more importantly, it's not that it's more importantly, only one person has absolute position on you.
Yeah,
Now you have relative position importantly on the small, but you're sandwiched with a small blind anyway. Because the bet when the small blind, the most likely person to bet is going to be the low jack. So it'll go check, the low jack will bet, and then the small blind will act. And so you'll still be able to act after this, so on the flop, you're in actually a very good situation.
yeah.
And when it's the button, it's the same thing if the low jack bets. It's just the rest of the hand, how it goes.
Yeah.
So there we go. And then your difference here in the suited branch, because this comes up just to have this in mind. Out of position to 2 players. We lose the 10, 8, the 9 set. We lose this area here. Out of position against 1 player. We still, now look at that. Look at how rich this area is. There's the difference. This block, so we keep some of our kings in, but this block here.
Yeah.
And this block, did this block actually expand with a small blind? Is this our, yeah. Look at that anti-heuristic.
So our implied odds aren't.
These came in.
greater.
These came in. That's something we've never talked about. We talk about it's always tighter. And I bet the overall is still going to be calling less, but the shift, these get more valuable. So let's just look at that before we move on. With the, yeah, okay, so here. So with no caller, we are calling 17% of hands. With a small
Calling.
blind in there, we are calling, sorry. Yeah, with a small blind in there, the big blind is,
Small blind's raising. Yeah.
thank you, I hit the wrong button. The small blind in there, we're calling 17.4. Okay, so we are not getting that much tighter here. It was 17 and 17.4. We actually got a little looser in this area.
Yeah, well, you can argue that
All right.
we're switching to call more implied odd hands.
Right.
Like-
But out of position to 2 player, we dropped from 17 to 12, and that's huge. That's, almost a third fewer hands.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. So now we've overanalyzed that. But I thought, but that was important to me, was getting that sense of those. All right. And then the only thing we want to see is what does the king 10 do at the end? All right. So button. So we're low jack button big blind in Prometheus. There we go. Hello, Prometheus. Boom. Low jack, button, big blind. Board is 3 of diamonds, 3 of spades, 6 of clubs. Spades, 6 of clubs. Great. We have a close to check range from the big blind again. And let's see, his 5% bets, I don't think we need to learn. I think we can simplify this, or I will, to check range.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're on the initial better, so he does not have to check range. And we see him betting his overpairs. And he can also check, there is not a single hand that he checks pure. He can do a lot, it's a complicated strat. And these suited ones, when they bet,
Wants the back door.
it needs the back door. It needs it. And do we see a preference? Not really. The suit of the high card, it stays with a smaller bet. So there's no real meaningful thing there that we need to learn right now. Okay. So he, with his, whatever his hand was, he checked. And now with a king 10 suited, which is what we're going to give this guy, we say you need the back door to bet. And I bet that the club, and I thought, no, you can just do it.
So when he
just
gets checked to,
he
he
can
has
just
a
take a
very
stab.
high betting frequency here.
Yeah. He just stabs.
He's trying to steal this pot big time.
Yeah.
I
He's
think
just a
we're
small
going to see
size.
this a lot. We're
Yeah.
going to see this a lot when the button is last to act after getting checked to by the 2 other players in the hand, and the flops are not something that's favorable to the initial raiser. The button is going to do this a lot. I think that we're going to see this.
And Mike, do you think we should do that in the wild?
I would say yes. I would say it's even better for us in the wild
agree.
because they don't protect, like that initial raiser is going to see bet too much, right?
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be
Or
more.
not protect, I should say. They're not going to protect if they have any part of the board. They're not going to protect.
And this guy is not going to check range. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen him bet a lot of his 6s in real life, more than this. Because his 6 is vulnerable. He doesn't want him to get checked through. He bets it. So yeah, I think it's a good play. All right. So when he gets to there, check. He can stab across his entire range. Every hand does some betting. Ace jack being the least of it. But every hand
Interesting is that he's also betting ace king. Oftentimes heads up will find ace king. Well, he's not going to have ace king that often here, but
yeah.
Ace king often checks because it's the best non-paired, but not here.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of betting. All right. And I don't want to say anybody want to say anything about the suits of ace king or just move on with your life?
It looks like a
Me too.
morass.
Yeah, me too. Next year.
Yeah.
All right. And so, but let's look at one in the suited land. Let's see. The one that does it the least is the one that doesn't have a back door. So we have that. And I was wrong. The second least is the high card. I thought this was going to be the most. So that was the thing I wanted to check. So it's the small back door, it's the paired back door, not the unpaired back door that does it the most. So let me at least either say I don't know or not say that one again. All right, there we go. Then we get our king of clubs. All right. Bye, Gilberto. Okay, great. And then we'll talk, and then I'll give you the. Okay. No. Okay. King of clubs. Check. King of clubs.
Yeah, but now there's no trailers, so there's plenty of.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good to see you, man.
It was nice seeing you again.
Cool. And then on Wednesday, I'll give you the. Okay, and on Wednesday, I can give you the list of of our stuff.
You can email it.
I'll email it to you. Okay. I'll do that.
Call you guys either tomorrow, or Wednesday, to let you know when we're gonna start.
Great.
But you won't see me until probably a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. I'll email you. I'll email you tonight. Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Take care.
So that was exciting, but luckily that was during our solve. Okay.
So you can get back in. You're good.
Yeah, I'm in. We had to wait 30 seconds for this anyway.
Perfect.
And so
Perfect. Well, I'll be quiet.
that's okay. So that's my life, everybody.
Working on the bathroom?
Yeah, not because of any sort of middle class white remodeling, but because of the flood.
Womp
All right.
womp.
So, third, he's got a check range even when he hits the king here, and he's still slow playing threes. So that's something. This is something I think we're going to see less of, but against a GTO player, you are not comfortable in the other positions because this guy still has his threes. He checks. Now our second guy to the check, it's his turn to get to stab everything. Because he has all these kings and because he has all those kings.
I would imagine he has the most king X here.
Yeah. And notice that Jack 9, which has no backdoor anything, does not need clubs to do this.
Mhm.
It's stab city now. And our guy had ace 8 of spades. And he elected to take the shot, right?
I don't recall, honestly.
I think he did, and the king called. And the question was whether he got to do what he got to do.
Yeah, he bet kind of big
Yeah.
too.
He bet the 5 into 8, and his sizing is supposed to be
Small.
what is that? What is that size? That is 2 big blinds. So yeah, so he's never betting that big with the ace 8 of spades, but he is with the ace 8 of hearts. And not knowing that difference makes sense. Ace 10 does it with the clubs, and then with the clubs and the non-anything. Okay. So he takes the shot. And the king 10 seems like it's going to be a very easy call, especially knowing how protected the big blinds range is, if he did. So here's our bet. He goes with a big bet. Yep, no raises, not a raise, even with, does he have any monsters? He has no threes, he has no sixes still, and he has no kings. So yeah, he just doesn't have any. He has no nuts. But he never folds a king here. No king folds.
And folding some like decent hands, 10s, 9s, 8s.
Yeah. Yeah, that king is that king is good for the initial guy's range. He has a lot of
Can
And
you
he's-
scroll over
And
like,
he still has the big blind to,
Yeah.
to worry about.
Yeah. What do you want me to
scroll
scroll?
over like 9-8, 9-7, see if he's folding his flush draws here? This doesn't have it.
If he has a
10-9.
flush draw, it doesn't fold. I mean, in this 9-8, he got to this node differently.
Yeah.
But he does fold it.
Yeah, so his threshold for calling flush draws looks like it's 10x or 10 of clubs.
Yeah, but even the 10 does some folding.
Yeah. What about
look
like
at the-
Jack
look at-
9?
The jack
Yeah.
folds not at all. Jack is pure.
Look at some of the other ones. Queen high, Queen 10, Queen Jack.
Can't have a queen.
Queen.
He doesn't have Queen 10 for some reason that we didn't
Okay.
do, but his Queen Jack doesn't fold.
Yeah.
And then his kings are all kings. And his aces are all aces. Yeah. So if you're going to call with a flush draw here, you better win. That's probably tighter than I would have done, but it's also a big size. Let's change that to the small size. And we're on this node. Yep. Oh no, wrong
Nope.
node. we have to go to this node. And then check this guy and now bet the small bet. And now against this, are we the right guy? Check bet. Yes, we're on the big blind. And now
You're on the button,
we're on the button.
which is good.
Now our
Yeah.
tens call pure. Our nines call pure. Our eights, all our flush draws now call. And you just, if you have a six in your hand, good for you. Yeah. So it's a function of the size. 9-7 doesn't fold. Okay. But he does the bigger one. So let's go back to this node. We do the check. Here, on this node. Check. Bet big. King calls. Fold. And the river is the 4 of diamonds, and he gets checked too. Is a king enough to bet?
Yeah, where's our threshold here?
There's our threshold here. All right. Having got here with ace 8, it is time to give up. Come on, give up. Don't shoot your way out of it. Nope. Shoot your way out of it with ace 8. Ace 9 is enough to go, oh well. Ace 10, oh well. Maybe showdown is there. Ace 8, gotta fire away.
Ace 7, it looks like they're, oh, yeah, I see your point.
Yeah. If you have the, so
Well,
you
this is
don't
important,
fire
right?
away-
It looks like we're checking with the busted FD.
Yep.
And gambling with the
the others.
others here.
Yeah.
We want to unblock the busted FD.
A 6 is good enough. A 6 is this weird mergy thing. And it's all, is it all in? It's, oh, you are definitely shooting your way out. The 6 is going all in. The 3 is going all in for value.
Holy merged, Batman.
Holy, your size. Oh my gosh. You are not fucking around. This is shocking to me. That 24 is not enough to get the job done. You're saying, I want you to fold a king. Wow. All right.
Maybe it's because a large part of his calling range are busted flush draws, and it's such a brick river.
Yeah.
And we started on this line. We started this line with a big bet on turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're representing a high equity hand.
We are.
So he's got a filtered range, right?
Yeah.
And we see that because a lot of his range is the backdoor flush draw that came in on turn. So
So let's go back to this moment here. Choose the river card. It is the 4 of diamonds again. But what he does was he checks. Where's this? Is this the same node? Where's all the crazy shooting? Oh no, it's still there. Yeah. Ace 9 didn't need to do it. That's what happened, right? That was what we concluded. Yeah. Ace 9 is only your busted FD. When you have your 8 and you're there, you fire your way out of it. He checks it. And now, what does a king need? You need a good king. King, queen.
Mm.
King, queen. King, jack.
Right, because even in
King,
the
10.
button with the king, queen, and king, jack, it'd be a tough calling, right? Like if someone shoving there, you would just be thinking,
Oh, yeah.
obviously they have something stronger, or they have the ace king, right, which they could have in early position, and you unlikely have in button just calling. So it's just, I can see why they do this shove, but it definitely puts the king in a challenging situation. I don't know if I'd make this call. as the button.
Yeah, so this is the button's range against the check, and we see king 10 is just not enough to value bet. King jack is king queen. You know, king queen you can go if you do king queen pure and no king jack, that would be like fine, right? That'd be an easy simplification to say it's got to be king queen to go on. And then the thing that you pointed out, Richie, against that jam, if we can get back to the jam node easily. Yeah, there's the jam. And now facing it, you are just in misery with a king. And you want to have a club because you want him to not, let's see if we can figure this out. In this node, we do all our calling with the queen of clubs. Because we want him to be bluffing when we call, and he doesn't bluff his front doors. So the queen of clubs is one more club for him not to have. Therefore, am I going backwards on this? Can anybody figure this out?
I can't figure it out.
We
I
want
was
him
trying to
to
follow it, but
We want him to bluff when he calls. When he has two clubs, he doesn't bluff. Therefore, the queen of clubs in our hand allows him to be bluffing more. Because he doesn't bluff with his clubs. This strat assumes something that is not true in the wild.
okay, so what you're saying is this strat thinks that busted flush draws aren't going to bluff, which is the most common bluff here.
Exactly. In
So
the real
that's what it's calling. I
Right.
guess that could make sense.
Yeah. That's my contention.
However, does he bluff his low clubs, his low front, those low club
Let's take a look.
draws, and only not bluff when he has the ace of clubs? That's which we looked at. Does he have low clubs bluffing?
All right, let's take a look here. Oh, we can't have a 6. So 5. He bluffs the 5. It's got a 4. So he's got a pair here. Yeah, so he bluffs this one. So it's the 7-8. Yes, he does. He
And
bluffs.
then when he gets into the higher range of his clubs, he's not going to bluff them, which would be like a queen high, ace queen of clubs, so to speak. Queen
Well-
jack of clubs. What about queen jack?
He bluffed it. He did.
He does.
He did it. He bluffed the queen jack.
And queen 10.
And he bluffed the queen 10, which he has much less of the club version of it in this line. And he didn't bluff the queen 9. But right there, he bluffed queen 9 and queen 9. So in this hand alone makes, justifies our play logically. I don't know if it makes up enough of the range to justify the play. But that's how that's affected. Now in the offsuit branch, let's look at his ace queen. He bluffs an ace queen that we beat with a club in it. Therefore, if we have a club, he cannot be bluffing this ace queen. And this ace queen, he has a fair amount. How much of it does he have? Not a lot. So I think that the club being bad is not true for us. I think that our guy, when he has queen jack of clubs here and bets it on the turn, which they will do, they bluff it on the river. So that's going to be my anti-GTO contention for the day with my massive 1.5 big blind win rate. Richie. Oh, Mike. Sorry, Mike, this is your hand.
Hey, don't clear this yet, Scotty.
Okay.
One thing I noticed that we kind of breezed by, maybe this is going down too much of a rabbit but on I think it was the turn, when it went big bet call It went
Mhm.
check, big bet, call, back to the big blind. The big
Yep.
blind came alive with a bunch of raising, or all wrapped around the threes. I wanted to see what he was raising. Like all that down there.
Yeah. All right. Threes. Yay, threes. Straight draws with flush draws also? No, just straight draws, but with the flush draw, with the combo draw, it's a party.
And then up in the ace six, kings using the six as a
Mm,
bluffing card.
But he folds the naked sixes here. He folds the shitty sixes. 7-4 is a straight draw, is a gut shot with a club. We can even fold a gut shot with a club sometimes.
The ace six, king six.
Yeah.
I was
well,
looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there in a second. 7-5 though doesn't. What the difference between 7-4 and 7-5? What is the difference between 7-4 and 7-5? That's so extreme. We have it about this.
Four blocks have three, like 4-3.
Nobody
No,
has.
that would make sense there.
Okay, don't know. Now let's look up, you wanted to see the land of ace six? If you have the best sixes, king six doesn't count. Yeah, the very best six is very, very different than the second best six.
Okay, yeah, too much of a rabbit hole for me. I don't really see what's happening other than the threes and the natural bluffs that you'd have. Okay, that's all. I just saw a lot of red when we got there, and I was like, wow, that's the big bet and a call. And then we saw a ton, like a lot of big raises right now.
No, this isn't the big bet and the call. Oh, this is check, bet, call back on us, and we bluff ace six after the call. This feels suicidal to me. The button is capped and the low jack is stabbing. There's that.
Mhm.
And when the ace comes on the river, but nobody's going to beat it with their ace queen, you cooler it with ace six, because ace six, your pair still plays. Because it's not like the board is paired 7-7-6. Nope. Crazy. All right, Mike, you have the next hand. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, I give you this.
All right. Oh, did we see this one already?
I give you this instead.
Okay. All right. Well, eights are a mixed raise from that early. So let's see what he does. All right, he goes for it, and he's using a 3x size. Ace queen suited in this position is going to be a 3-bet for me, but we know he's not going to.
I like it as a 3-bet, and if you have a calling range, it's not a bad call. It fits into a calling range here sensibly.
What,
All right,
from this
now
position?
sevens.
You hate
Fair
it?
enough. Yeah, I don't tend to have a call in range much later than hijack. So earlier than
Me either.
hijack, should I say. So cutoff is usually my preferred latest call in range. Some hands I will fit into hijack. But yeah, this early. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not saying it's not correct. I
I'm with you.
personally don't. Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
I'm more with
I
you.
would
I don't
not
even
call this. I would 3-bet this pure. And not like you, Richie. I wait until the cutoff before I start thinking about like flatting ranges. I don't even do it in the
Yeah.
hijack unless there's just really a table that's like easy to make that decision. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with you. I don't flat.
I think that's smart. I'm trying to play the I don't even flat the cutoff or the hijack. That it's only the button is my flat. But if you have a flatting range, this hand is not a bad flat. And then the argument that this is too early to have a flatting range, I think is a great argument and a good thing to have in mind.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think the way you guys, I think that I'm going to add into my game because we have this thing of saying, when can you have a flatting range? When you don't get raised behind, right?
Yeah.
And I think I should refine that to, rather than thinking about the table, just going, and your later position. The later your position and the less you get, because remember, it's not you also get 3-bet behind squeezed by legitimate hands. And there's
Yeah,
just
so the
Yeah.
way I look at flatting, it's not just about getting squeezed when you flat, because obviously that's a big EV loss if you then have to fold. But the thing is of how many people are going to call you as well when you flat behind, because even if you have a good flat in hand, they're still eating at your EV, even if they're calling with
Yeah.
poor flat in hands, right? So just the more people you leave behind, the more chance you have people to basically siphon your EV, right? It is the way I look at it.
I like this as a 3-bet. But having him flat,
Yeah, the sevens are potentially have an option to come in now, right? Which is a
Yeah.
very situation of why the
Yeah.
flat is a bit more risky in this case. And yeah, with the sevens here now, depending on the players.
give me one of these two.
Sorry, I'm speaking over someone else's turn now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like if this were me with pocket sevens here, it would be pretty villain dependent, table dependent, but I would be now consider flatting way more often because now I think it takes, people are going to be squeezing less often now because you have the early position raise, a flat, and now you flat. The squeeze is going to be rarer. It's not that it's not going to happen, but you're in a much better spot now to flat like something like sevens. And I probably would, unless there was some crazy knucklehead behind me that's been raising everything, whatever.
Derek is
But yeah,
flatting this in his game 100%. So that makes sense. We're all in that.
who's flatting at 100%?
Derek. That's a Derek. I mean, raise.
Oh yeah.
You might have aces. That's great. And a call, some dead money, and someone else to hit a top pair, top kicker, or 2-pair against his set. Derek is set mining here happily, and I think it's fine. And everybody's stack is deep enough. This is great. Yeah.
If it went raise under the gun and folded around to me with sevens here, I would probably fold. I would not set mine.
Okay. I would.
Sixes now. I think they can flat. It's kind of a closer spot, but I'm surprised they folded.
Yeah. I think this is a super easy flat on the button, even though GTO doesn't have any flats at this point. But just the way we play, I think you can flat your sixes on the button here. I would. It's like, yeah, let's just have a set mine party. But at a position, it's just harder to get the value of it. So I don't mind his fold at all. He folds, and we get to the flop.
Okay, so we're going 3-way here, and no blinds. These eights. It's kind of one of these flops. You have the 8 of spades. Probably makes it better if you are going to see bet into 2 players being out of position to both of them, but I would be pretty cautious and I would probably check.
Seems like a good check. It does.
Now the ace queen in the sandwich. They have a great hand with lots of equity now. I wouldn't be here, but if I was, I would. I typically check range, in this spot, like, because the eights can easily have aces and kings and queens if they're playing well. They have jacks. They can have. They're basically uncapped at this point, so maybe checking is probably best and probably what I would do.
I'll point out one thing to that. So when they have those big pairs, they're waiting to check raise, right? You can call it check raise. Just saying.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to bet. You can call it check raise. This guy checks like you.
Yeah, the sevens with no spade.
Yeah.
I'm going, if it were me, and I'd be here with sevens. This might not be a bad spot to stab for the B25, kind of that Prometheus sort of thinking.
Yeah.
But without a spade, maybe we just we didn't set mine, no set, no bet kind of thing.
Sure.
So
yeah,
either way, I'm good with either action.
Yep. Our intent here was to set mine. Then we got check 2 on a flop where we often have the best hand and we won't on the turn. So it gets hard. And so now it's only cost us big blinds to set. Mine is now going to turn into, it's going to cost us 10 big blinds to get to the river or to lose our hand, you know. He checks. And life has gotten,
Okay. Yeah, I think life is easy for eights now.
Yep.
They check. And life has gotten easy for ace queen suited now.
Mhm.
And could you consider checking as a trap with sevens behind, with this other in position player behind here? We don't know he has sevens, obviously. And he's checked. So no, I mean, exploitatively, just start putting money in the pot now, as opposed to checking, thinking somebody's protecting their checking range and all that kind of crap. Just bet.
just bet.
I'd be 50.
Okay. 50 is the biggest. Yep.
Sevens fold. Eights.
Has the 8 of spades.
Yeah. It's probably indifferent.
Yeah.
So I don't fault a call. If it were me, I'd probably fold, but
I'd fold.
yeah.
You're such a dog to a 9. You're not even great against a queen 10. I just fold. He calls. Ace king is loving it. Ace king does not know that what he wants to see is another spade or an 8, that those are the good hands for him.
All right. Eights, check. Ace, queen. Let's bet. Let's see what size. Eights could have, or I mean, under the gun could have, their range could consist of hands that can call, probably not a huge bet, like an overbet. I wouldn't put an overbet in here. I just don't think the range of the end of the gun is going to be able to handle something like that. So I just go your standard B75-ish
Right.
size.
I'm going to look this and say that the 8, not his hand, that's his name, 8s, is massively capped now. And for me to get called, because he's capped at a 9. He doesn't even have a jack. Is that true? He could have a jack, but he is way capped.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I need to bet small to get called by his weak range. And if I bet small enough and I get a check raise, that would be great. This is the anti-Matt Affleck rule, in that I don't mind reopening the action.
Do we not care about targeting king 10 suited here?
Maybe it'll raise.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of a range that can, that's good for you with ace queen.
Yeah.
But it's only like what? How many combos?
4 combo.
4.
Yeah.
Out of everything else that he has, like it's such a tiny part of his
Yeah.
range.
That's valid.
Yep. So I am considering betting a third here.
Going for a block bet in position.
I'm considering going a block bet in position, anti-Matt Affleck, because I would like to reopen the action. That's what I'm considering. He is considering an overbet, hoping that he's up against a worse flush. A worse flush raised him. And there's the fold. Right. Let's see, is there any GTO whiz thing that we can do with this? I don't think so. I don't think there's any situation that we can get this in the whiz. Not the whiz.
No, this is non-existent pre-flop.
I think that's the case.
Non-existent in Prometheus too.
Prometheus, the best it would be low jack. Let's get rid of these guys.
What
Yeah,
stack size
you just
would
can't
it?
get it. You just can't get it.
Can't have multi-way with nobody in the blinds.
Right, we're done. Okay. They are, 100 effective. Okay. Richie.
Yeah, ready when you are.
And we did that hand. I keep going backwards. This is your hand.
So where are we? So it should fold round to king 9, but I'm presuming that's 2 seconds. Sorry, I was just making sure it wasn't going to be loud. Yeah. Oh, it did fold round to king 9. Okay. And then yeah, ace 3 on the button. So I think ace 3 can call. It's 4 and 5 that start to 3 bet, is it? I'm not fully sure. off the top of my head. This person's a broken stack as well, so it's not surprising they call it.
Let's look at that in our lovely wizard. In that question. Cut off, raises, button.
Are they all 3-bet? Okay, that's fair. It's fair enough. And actually, funny enough, ace 4 and 5 are the ones that can start calling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So slightly wrong way around. Fair. Cool. That makes sense.
Raises.
I'm surprised at how frequently it's actually betting against the cutoff, though. I thought it would be a lot more mixed strategy than that.
Yeah. So I think,
but it's more raise or fold.
yeah, I think we can learn something from this. Let's look at this. The percentage is, so 3 to 12. So a quarter, we have a quarter calls. We have 3 to 12 calls, 3 to 12 calls against the cutoff on the button. Against under the gun, we have half calls. So I think that that if you want to do this simplification with we need to 3-bet more. Let's develop this flatting range on the button against the early positions and have it start phasing out. Start phasing out against this position. Hijack just under half of the time. And by the time we get to the cutoff, if you simplified this and just turned everything into a raise, just to not have a flatting range here, you'd be okay.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Because obviously cutoff's going to have a wider range. So in theory, they're going to have more folds to 3-bets. And then when they do call your 3-bets, you still have position. So it does make sense. I just didn't realize how much.
Yeah. So if you want to learn this range where it's these hands here and these hands here, these are the only hands that benefit from it. You don't need this. And you don't need these folds. You can simplify your life and raise all these and call these. That would be easy, right?
Yeah.
Raise all your aces to 9s, raise your best aces, and then 10-jack call if you're going to have the calling range. Choose one of these to do it. If you do that, that allows you to do these calls here. But if you just turn all these into raises, all you lose is you can't call 4s and 5s now anymore. And your 7s and 8s your 7 or 8s are not really happy. These don't love being raise or fold. So there you go. All right.
That's
So
good.
but he
Cool.
does not punish us, and this is great. This is why there is profit to be made.
I actually didn't realize you were the hero in the cutoff. But yeah, okay. And then obviously, well, neither of these should be involved, but out of 2 of them, I guess the big blind's going to call. Be very odd if the small blind does, but you never know.
Yep. And that is EV suicide.
Yeah.
Great. Which makes this raise even better.
Oh.
So you know, in there.
This is unfortunate. Okay, so obviously 6-8 should just check here. You're in middle position. You do have top pair, but it's a rainbow board, so I would just check it because even if they didn't have the flush, they could have the 1 card to the flush. I guess you could argue charge them for it, but you're awkward, so I would just check it here.
If only it were a rainbow board.
Not a rainbow board, sorry, a monotone board.
If only.
Yeah. Monotone board. And now this person, right, realistically, they've got the nuts. You don't want to slow pay as last position, I don't think. I would just go small in the multi-way because people think you might try to steal and stab, so a lot of people are going to continue. Probably. If I'm trying to chap in this position, I would actually bet here and then potentially consider a check back on the turn, which that might sound strange, but I'd much prefer that rather than give them a free card on the turn for the turn. But anyway, so yeah, I would probably go about a third here. So what are we looking at for, you're looking 2.5 big blinds then, aren't you, really? Roughly?
Yeah. Yeah. But this guy hates me and checks behind
Okay.
because he knows about my stabbing my stabbing proclivities.
Well, that's a very good point to slow play it as well, if you know that someone's a bit of a stabber as well. So here now, right, I can understand you stabbing here, right? You've got top pair, everyone's checked, and you've now hit a gut shot, is it? Yeah, gut shot.
Yeah.
No, technically an open-ended. It's an open-ended gut shot.
Open-ended.
Oh,
7, 8, 9,
yeah.
10, jack. Yeah, 7.
Yeah. So I completely understand you stabbing here, right? But because it is still a, I guess, dangerous board, right? It wouldn't be a big stab for me. It would still be on the small size, so similar 2.5 big blinds.
Ugh. Ugh. I was so hoping to see me check. Okay.
Okay, so ace 3 here now. Obviously, if they raise, they're pretty much telltale in their hand, but it's such a, I guess, a wet board that you could be keeping in people who are still drawing.
Mhm.
And they could think you're trying to steal it with a draw as well. So because they've checked the turn, I guess it makes sense to actually raise here now, to try and get a bit more value in this pot. So yeah, I would probably say at least 3 times yours as a raise, so 15 big blinds at a minimum, because you're not too worried, you're not too scared, and only a small raise like that would draw in, maybe even 20 big blinds, 4 times yours. 6-8 here, they should just be gone with 2 people showing interest, but it wouldn't surprise me, depending if some player pools staying in because they've got a pair and it's a small pair. But yeah, okay, so there we go. Let's hopefully you don't hit anything on the.
No 6. We want no 7. We want no king, and we want no queen. No 7, and then we're okay. Oh, oh,
Oh, this is really unfortunate. So obviously you can continue here because you don't feel that maybe anyone would have with a flush check back on the flop, and you think maybe they've called you on the draw basis, or that they have some interest themselves as well in this pot. Again, if I'm betting, it would be small, but I wouldn't hate a check back here. The only issue with a check back is someone maybe putting an over bet size that you really want to call. So you're kind of setting a blocker bet here, which I might prefer. Yeah, so I don't know. I would probably still too small, and you're kind of inducing bluffs, and you're not happy with calling a bluff here, being a complete bluff catcher. Maybe it is a half pot bet if you are betting. Just over half. That's not too big. I think that's reasonable. And then, unfortunately, if someone does go over you, you've just got to fold it. I think in all cases. I know it's really tough, but what currently is there? Queen 9 and flushes, right? Or ace queen, which they shouldn't have on the button with ace queen, but a queen 9 is definitely a possibility. So yeah, I think you've just got to fold this.
of course I do. But what is Scotty's biggest leak?
Interesting to see what our threshold value is on this river. Yeah, I'm really interested because I'm not sure either.
That's my leak. That's
yeah,
it.
holding too much. Yeah.
You did it perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like, that king, it's like I even chop with worse kings.
You do, and
King,
obviously you
king,
could,
king, jack 10. I don't even, my kicker doesn't even play.
yeah, and you could be losing to full houses slow paid, like trip 8s, for example. Let's say 10s and jacks unlikely, but you never know, trip 8s might be slow playing here for the kings. But if this was a heads up pot, I'm a lot more on board with the call. But again, in a multi-way pot where people's, I guess, nut possibility increases because there's more people to hit those nuts. I think, yeah, unfortunately, you've just got to let it go.
Yep. All right. King, jack, 8 of hearts.
think it was cutoff button big blind. Not that it makes that much of a
It was,
difference, probably.
but it won't give me that.
Oh, wait,
I-
cutoff button big blind?
Does it?
Yeah.
Maybe it does. Hold on.
It does.
Oh, no, it does. You're right. You're right. It does give us cutoff button big blind. So let's do that.
Yeah, it won't give you cutoff button small blind.
King, jack eight. All right. Same thing. Check range. Lots of, lots of playing. We have king nine suited. We can take a shot. We can check it. Recheck. And the slow played. So is this the only? So this is the only thing that we can take away from this is we can say, well, he didn't play his hand very well either. Look at how much stabbing he can do though. Holy jeez.
And unhighlight the ace three. What's his global? So 44%.
Stabs half his range. Any ace of hearts does it. Any queen of hearts does it. Any ace of hearts does it. Some jack. You can't have the jack of hearts. Okay. And then some jack is a pair. Okay. Ace queen is also a straight draw. In the monster there. Your kings love to bet. And without a queen, without a heart is the one that checks the most. I'm sorry, with a heart is the one that checks the most. That's what I meant to say. And that makes some sense because the heart, it protects you from, if the fourth heart comes in, you don't hate it. Whereas the king, queen of the king of spades, queen of diamonds hates it. All right, there you go. So he checks exploitatively against me because he knows my play.
So
We-
are you confident they know your play, or are you just saying that?
No,
just out
no,
of
I mean,
curiosity?
no, they don't know my play at all.
No,
this is-
cool. I was just wondering if you were being serious or not.
No, I'm being completely facetious. This is ignition. The play is anonymous, except, they've got 10, 15 hands on me. They don't know anything.
Okay, cool.
Except they know the player pool tendencies of bald guys. They know that. I'm always bluffing, they're never bluffing. I'm always bluffing, they're never bluffing. I'm saying that to myself. You guys just have to hear me sing. All right.
Good song, Scott. Good song.
Thank you. Thank you, Bogdan. Thank you. It's a big hit. I tried to sell it to Taylor Swift, but her people never got back to me.
It's crazy how it never became viral, no? So
I know.
it's
I know.
incredible.
Exactly. All right, here we go. So much checking, from the big blind. He even checks his nut flushes most of the time. Checks so much checking. All right, so he checks. And now with my king nine suited. All right. That's the one good thing, is it's a bet. Bad sizing, but it's a bet.
It does like the 2.5 size, and that's nice. And I can see why it's a bet, right? I can 100% see why it's a bet. You've got a gut shot, you've got top pair, and everyone's being passive. And there's only one player left to act. I think it makes complete sense why we're betting.
It's an open ender, actually, open ender.
Yeah, sorry, open ender. I said gut shot again, didn't I? Yeah,
Yeah.
open ender. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at the play let's look at the play that makes no sense first, just because it's what I did to finish it off, and then see had I be sensible, how bad it would be. So there's the bet. Now his slow played hearts do call against the big size.
Yeah, that's true, because you went big, yeah. Makes sense for it to be a call, right?
Yep. Immediate fold here. Do we care about anything here? Do we care about finding what the bluffs are? Nope. All right. And then the river is the comical king of just kick yourself in the head. Spades, the king of spades. Having gone big, my hand doesn't exist. The equivalent doesn't exist. The only kings that are here turned into full houses on the big size. So that's the problem. So the fact that your full houses continue to bet is no information at all.
Yeah, so which would then, I guess, imply we should just be checking after you've been called by a big size, right?
I shouldn't be here on this line.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be here on
Let's see
this
what
line.
happens. But let's
do
see.
you think, because
Yeah.
you are here on this line, that therefore you should just be checking it?
I should be checking, yeah.
Or do you
here's
still
how we get
think
our
you
answer.
represent the
Is-
full house, and then if they go over the top of you, you've just got to fold it?
So we're turning trips into a bluff.
Yeah, do you think?
No, I think it's terrible. But
Okay.
I want to go back to this node here and do the right size now, because now at least we'll have the king nine and see how we think about the king nine. Because when the king nine checks that river, then we know that that it's the right thing, that it's a check there. If the king nine doesn't check, we can compound the mistake differently. So on this 10, that's where we are now. There's the check node. So he checked. This is the right node. Yes. Check. Now we bet small. And he calls his ace three, which is on the small side, on the small bet. He still does it. So he does the call. And now we get to the king on the river. And now we can see what the correctly played king nine does. Okay. You bet.
1.23 big blinds.
You bet tiny. My gosh.
1.23.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've never made this bet in my life.
So the idea is
So that's the B10.
to try to extract a tiny amount of value from your trips.
Yeah. And
so this is a bet fold.
raised. Yeah.
So this is like Bart Hansen saying, bet fold.
Yeah. And ace three goes. Ace three has some check behind. What the fuck? Oh, there's, of course, they're full houses. They're full houses. Right. So he does his raise now. He does his raise to his most common size. Boom. And now the lovely king nine goes. I was kidding.
I'm just doing a bet fold here.
I was just bet folding. Yeah, I was just playing. All right. So,
Look at your, when you do the B10,
Mhm.
that small bet, look at what other hands you're B10ing here.
Okay. My node. This is my B10 node. All right. Let's go back to this. This is my B10 node. Oh, I don't want to say what's my next move. I want to look at it. Okay. So here we are. I think
Go to weighted so that
That's
we can see, we can eliminate the ones we just don't really get here with.
Okay. It's it's the world of kings.
Yep, including full houses. And your bluffs
Mhm.
have some queens and some nines. They block the straight.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
That's
the
pretty
9,
balanced.
and the 9 queen is the straight. Yeah. You missed your shout out earlier, Derek.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, just, there was a hand we said, Derek's calling here.
no, I was there.
Oh, you were back, you were here
On
already.
the sevens?
Yeah, the 7s. I didn't know you were here. Okay,
Yeah, I was here.
I didn't see you. Okay. Here we go. We're on to the next person is Richie.
I
Yeah.
just did one, so it's someone
Oh,
else now.
this was you? Okay, the next person is Derek.
Okay. Eights.
And once again, wrong direction. There we go. Here we go.
7, 6. I sometimes, but almost never.
Mhm.
I'd only do it if I thought it was a really weak table.
Mhm. Yep.
And I thought it's really weak passive table. 9, 10 in the cutoff.
Hijack.
Hijack. Yeah, we're betting that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, get it in there. King 10 is gonna call.
That would be good. King 10 should call and sometimes raise, but what's actually going to happen is the Queen 3 is going to get in there for some crazy, or the
good.
Ace 6. One of these guys is going to misplay. Let's see which one. He's going to misplay.
Okay. Now the King 10 is he thinking about squeezing here?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say no.
So
because
one thing is the broken
Oh.
stack, right?
Broken stack, yeah, takes that away a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's right. I'm broken for some reason. I must have lost the preceding hand. but
that's a blunder.
Yeah, it is a blunder. But in normal land, this is the hijack. So we have the hijack raise. Small blind does his call there, which he has. And now the big blind with King 10 suited. Got to move you guys out of the way. No, doesn't want to squeeze.
No.
Squeeze
Okay.
some worse ones, squeeze some better ones.
King Jack suited
Yeah.
squeezes. King 6 suited, of course, squeezes.
Yeah.
But King 10, it's too good to squeeze.
Yeah. And if you did it, if you squoze with it instead of the King Jack, it's fine. These are the same hand. It's a little better.
But look at the King 6, King 4, King 3, King 2.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the idea is that King 2, you got to use something to squeeze with, so
Mhm.
that's what you're choosing. Ones
Yep.
that are almost good enough to call.
Yeah, and they're back in, and they're also they're in this same squeezing range. So if you wanted to learn these not out of nowhere, you would find, you would know this, that the hijack, that this is how the big blind acts against the hijack. And when the small blind makes the mistake of coming in, you keep the same structure.
Yep.
That these hands are still represented.
Not ace 3, but ace 4 and ace 2. Who would ever
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
I just remember that general area.
Yeah. What I remember is, I remember this pattern of it from there. I wouldn't have known that the 3 drops out with the extra caller. All right. So
I don't think it's a blunder to squeeze here.
no, because the King Jack did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he does not punish us there.
So you're at 53. That's really awkward. If you just call, then that puts,
Yeah.
7 and a half in there.
Yep. I think we may see some Scotty Redline Meltzer. All right, let's see what happens, Derek.
Okay. So Queen 3 has nothing and probably doesn't decide to bluff this.
He has a 3, but he's not going to decide.
Yeah. Yeah. Third pairs. So he's gonna hope to turn equity. So he just checks.
Mhm.
King 10 totally missed it. Does he choose to bluff?
Nope, he didn't.
Nope. 10-9. Ugh. You want to turn some kind of equity here. I'd say I see bet too much because I think people fold too much. But that's just my population. So
I hope I play like
against
Derek.
my population, I see bet too much. I err on c betting too much.
Yay. Let's see bet too much.
So queen 3 has a 3. If he's gonna play queen 3 and he hits some equity, he might call. But it's a blunder to do so.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah, okay. So c betting too much wins.
Yay. Hijack.
Because they fold too much.
Hey. Hijack. Hijack, small blind, big blind. And the flop is ace 3 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. Ace 3 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. Small blind has some donking, like significant amount of donking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here's that kind of spot we've been seeing a lot. The high card and then kind of 2 cards down low.
Yeah. So let's, where is what was the name of that file? That file was the Prometheus, probably. Prometheus? Is that the name of the file? No. Yep, Prometheus. There it is. So now we've seen it on ace 7-3 again. Yep, we already had that one. That's the flop.
Yeah, I've recognized some of these hands. We've done these before.
Oh, is that where we learned it from? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
some of these other ones I remember.
Happened. Okay. I thought I marked what we had done already, but whatever. There we are. There's his world of donking. Donks lots of aces. He can donk my hand. Hearts and diamonds. Donking hearts and diamonds. Donking all of his gut shots. Donking middle pair. But he has no bottom pair. Because the ace 3 is 2 pair. He doesn't have a single bottom pair here like our guy did. So it seems like with his real range, he's doing enough donking with his 6 that he doesn't, with his 7 that he doesn't need to donk his 6. And his 5-6, real gut shot, donks. All right. So lots of donking, not his hand. And then here's the thing that we learned before. When the small blind has lots of donks, the big blind has check range. I give you 9-10 of hearts, my friends. Strangely, I also give you 9-10 of spades and 9-10 of clubs. That's how much stabbing you do. Jesus God, 9-10 of spades, stabs. All right, up next is, after Derek, it is Bogdan.
Still 9-10 of hearts.
Yes.
Interesting. It's highly interesting to play with the cards like this, you know, all of them. It kind of influences a lot of my decisions.
Yeah,
I
it
need to
does.
fold instantly, you know. I wouldn't play a 5 with Jack off, anyways.
Mhm.
I
So,
would fold this.
so folds the deuces. Oh, no. Okay, so your deuces raised.
Wait a bit. So I was looking just in your hand. That was all, right?
Oh, no,
Just
no, we're looking at, no, no, we're looking at the whole world.
the
So-
whole world.
We're looking at the whole
Okay.
world. So deuces is a usual fold here. but
No,
Yeah,
Scotty,
flip
I'm
great.
usually raising a bit whenever I have like a pair in my hand, you know.
Okay.
I hope to see the set. And yeah, I'm doing it.
Gotcha. In GTO world, just so you know, your
Mm.
low pairs, twos, threes, fours, fives do a lot of folding in these early positions. They don't
Right.
start coming in. They aren't well represented till the later positions, but they are there. They exist. They're
Mhm.
little whispers, and if you play those whispers more, your range is out of balance, but your individual hand, but you can still play that hand just fine. So if you are exploitatively opening all of your pairs because you're getting to see the flop with them because you're not getting 3-bet very often, that's probably a good exploit. Just pointing out GTO doesn't do it, and you did, and so did. There he is.
Nice stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I would have folded also.
Yeah.
9-10, that's tricky. It's not a big one, a big race, you know. So I would consider paying it. Thank you. And
This
for
is
that,
so far out. Don't ever play this. Yeah, if you learn anything today, Bogdan, facing an early position raise, if you have 10-9 offsuit, just fold, just fold, just fold. This is so far out of range, and there's no good argument to do it. Just fold.
right. The only argument that I have is like somehow emotional, to put it this way. Like those nines kind of visit me, you know, in the flop. So
Oh,
whenever I have one, I'm like inclined to pay some small raise just because of that, you know.
right.
That's why I
Stop
was
doing
like, yeah.
I'm gonna make your
Okay.
game. I'm gonna make your game better, Bogdan. Nines don't come up more than jacks. Don't come up more than deuces. It doesn't happen. Doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't happen. Get rid of that feeling. Break up with her. She doesn't love you.
Got it. Thank you.
Just using it for your car. All right, but
Go.
Bogdan calls.
Okay, courageous call. See?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
But I guess that, oh my fucking God, the king 10. That was the 3-bet on
Yeah.
this board. On the entire board, this was the only 3-bet I would have.
One hand. Yep.
And this
Yeah.
fold. Okay, crazy shit. Okay, moving on.
Mhm.
Let's see. Those spades calling?
Yeah. This is a better fold. This is a much, much, much better fold than a call. But he calls and we see the flop.
Nice.
Hooray!
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I would be super dead here because of those deuces. Just so you know, I would I would spam that raise button with that 9, you know, the flop. So yeah.
Yep.
Okay. In this case, the 5-jack suited should just check, even though he has one spade. The deuce could either bet small or hide it, you know, check and see what's going on. Okay, they did set a trap, dangerous. And the 9 is feeling powerful, huh? Let's see. Top pair of flop, bang.
Yeah, bet. I'm with you. What kind of size do you want to bet? Because you played this 9-10. You're here. What kind of size you want to bet?
It's like a small raise, you know, 2.5, 3, stuff like that.
I
Not
agree.
much.
Yep, I agree.
Oh shit, he went for the big one.
He
Okay.
did.
That's what, 70% of the flop? 65?
Yeah. Yeah. That's big.
That's a big one. Let's see the spades. Do you pay that? I would I would jump instantly, to be honest with you. I didn't feel it. Even if I have a spade there. Do you guys go for it when you have like this?
No, because
small
remember, you're in the sandwich and he's bet big. Backdoors only come into the game against small bets. Is a simplification. When they bet small, you have to think about your backdoors. When they bet big, you don't.
This hand shouldn't even show up.
Exactly. Yeah, this hand has lost enough money already.
10-9 off. That's not an open.
Nope, you're right. Yep, absolutely.
And the are happy here.
What do you think? So I think there's actually a meaningful decision here. So Bogdan, talk about what you want to do with your deuces here, because you played them in this situation. This is ideal for you.
Yeah,
think about
exactly.
your
I
thought
would
process,
call it.
and then let's talk about, because this is a really big inflection point, I think.
Yeah, I'm a bit conflicted between check call and check raise, you know, those two ideas. But
Yep.
I would call it this one, see another deuce, make a call, you know.
What stake is this?
This is 50 cent a dollar. This is the $100 game on Ignition,
Oh, so this is, yeah.
I think. Let's make sure.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you can see it up top.
So
Okay.
when he uses this size, I'm just gonna go crazy horse. He's not folding. He has a hand. He bet into multiple people. I have a value hand. I'm just gonna raise.
Right. And I'll add one more sentence to that on the size of the argument, on the raise size, and I unblock top pair.
Yep.
Yeah, we see solver over and over again. If there's one hand that solver fast plays, it's a low set, especially on this dry texture. But
Yeah, I don't think we should look at solver. I mean, these fuckers, they're opening 10-9 off. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Everything.
But it does teach us a heuristic here that we are fast playing our low sets here because
Yeah.
we're unblocking all their value.
Yeah.
So here's my thought process on this. In general, when you look at it, you go, we check raise less often against the bigger sizes. So you go, okay, we've got that. But I think this is overwhelmed by the combination of we unblock top pair. And in this case, when he says that he likes his hand, I should say, I believe you. How much do you like it? So I love the raise here. How about you, Bogdan? It's your hand. Do you want to raise
Yeah,
here?
same. I was like a bit conflicted between check raise and check call because if I'm raising too much and I do have a problem with the sizing, I'm gonna drop them, you know? They're gonna jump. I'm not sure they will pay, let's say 20 blinds, you know? We have what? Pot is 16. If I would make a re-raise here, that would be it. Pot bet, bang, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't do that.
What size
Based-
do you want your re-raise to be?
Oh, I'm just dunking it, you know?
Yeah, almost just a click back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Because I've only got 50 big blinds to get in. So yeah. Ah,
what happened?
I hit the wrong button. I keep doing it.
Okay. I thought it's folded.
No, so he just called. So he does the slow play, which we all agree is not his best choice because
Yeah, because what happened?
3 big blinds.
Like-
If it check now,
Yeah, he might check.
his jam is too aggressive.
Like
you know-
I would donk here. I do this all the time in live games.
Right. So donk out for like
I would donk here. I would donk like half pot.
like 12, get the pot up to
Yeah, or 10
48,
big.
make an easy jam on the river. Okay, I think he's not going to. And I think that the check called donk is a less efficient line because he just folds out because you just fold out all of his bluffs. But apparently Sam has the hand.
Hey, there we go.
Bang.
Interesting choice.
Want to say this, I'd also bet here and bet quite big, you know, it will be like 23 blinds, stuff like that.
Okay.
Huge.
Right. But remember, you only have to get it, you only need to set up the pot for a river shove. So 23 is fine, and that gives you 23, and if he calls it, you're golden on the river. But so right.
Is there any strategic advantage to the donk on turn as opposed to the check raise on flop?
I don't know what it is.
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
No, remember what Scotty said about you're really just taking his bluffs away when you do this.
Yeah.
And now I hide it against Scotty. I would bet sort of small, 7, 6, 7, 8 blinds, stuff like that, you know. I would expect a huge raise from his part.
Which I would argue when he's betting into 2 people using the sizing, he pretty much doesn't have a bluff. Like the worst hand he has is probably this hand.
It's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
That's what I'm
saying. Yeah. I mean, I guess you've just announced that you have 4-5. I guess that's what your hand is here. So Bogdan wants to go small here. And even though and I hate the queen if I'm this guy because I want his 9 to still be good, but I think I still have to jam. I think that's what the game was. And he.
Oh, checks. He risked it on a check. Okay. He's
I hope-
expecting also a bet. See?
I don't think he's scared of 4-5. I think he's.
Oh, shoot.
No, he's
Okay, sorry, I'll do
Guys,
it right now.
wait a bit. Guys,
Okay.
do you pay raises with 4-5 off, 4-5 suited?
Four,
No.
five, six. Okay, so I have to send a text now, guys, so let me pause the recording
Sure,
here for
sure.
a second.
Go
Okay,
for
what-
it.
Zoom, Zoom, pause the recording. No, pause the share. Where's the recording?
Did he check here?
Pause,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, he did check, bro.
And so he gets punished, yay. So the only thing, because we're not gonna solve this one, because we don't have, let's go back here and see. I think that the seats don't make the only way to do this is put him in the low jack and put him on the button. Okay, we can do that. We'll have the right relative action sequences. So yeah, let's do that.
When you
And here's
solve,
here's where you're gonna find the difference in opening ranges. Prometheus will open deuces pure in the low jack. They open
Okay.
every pair pure.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
you should adjust his opening range if you're gonna do solver with this thing.
We can't
Although-
adjust, we don't have that, we don't have the ability. But
Yeah,
let's,
otherwise I think you're wasting your time.
well, not, I mean, just in
No.
terms of the check raise and the check raise and the bet out with the bottom
Yeah.
set. That's still gonna be the same. All right, so let's do a little thing in GTO Wizard. Here, we're gonna do our 9-handed because this is a big table. So this is just a range thing for Bogdan. Which is, so take a look at these low pairs here. I'm just gonna look, just look at their frequency as we go up. So we have here, then we have, so they
He's
start
open
getting more and more oh, there's a raise there. I don't want that. Sorry. So just to see your opening ranges. There you got a little bit of 2s, 3s, 4s, a little more. Now we're getting into the sort of quarter size. When you get up to low jack, now you've got about a quarter of the time you're playing them. Hijack,
Not
same
even-
thing. Cut
not
off, they start getting major, and only on the button are they pure. And even then, the deuces aren't pure, but we're gonna play the deuces pure here. So that doesn't mean you need to play this way, just wanted you to be aware of that in your play, that you are doing an exploit, and make sure you know why you're doing that exploit. Against that early position raise, he was 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is
low jack.
-1. So this is him. There's his raise. And there's his deuces. Sure. When this guy comes in the cutoff, I want to show you how far 9-10 is not there. Okay,
That's
so
actually-
we're only raising, but even let's put you even on the button. I mean, don't even think about this. That's, yeah, this is,
It's not there at all.
yeah, none of this offsuit crap. Don't even, and this is being more generous. I'll be even more generous here. Hijack button.
Yeah, but when you see them opening 9-10 off, you could just 3-bet them with anything.
But he didn't open 9-10 off. He opened the deuces. It was the 9-10 off was a
Who
flat.
opened deuces?
Yeah, was a flatter in the field. People who are opening deuces, you don't want to be playing these hands. Because they're not just opening deuces. They have this whole range here. This range is dog shit, even with their deuces.
No, didn't the deuces open call from the big blind?
No, deuces were the open.
Deuces open and then 10-9 call from the field,
Yeah, that's how.
and then Jack 5 suited call the big blind.
Yeah, this was really bad.
What the fuck, man? Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Yeah, yay.
Right. So here we go. We're going to put the call on the button and now look at the big blind. When we were talking about, is the Jack 5 even close? Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, it's not nowhere near. Yeah,
Against
close.
this more generous ranges. Okay. So we have that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when you see that, you should 3-bet more from the cutoff and the button. If you see somebody opening deuces and like somebody flatting 10-9 off, you should just 3-bet
Yeah.
the button.
This
Like-
is permission. This is permission to squeeze, and it's not permission to squeeze because the first guy's opening deuces. It's because the second guy was putting dead money in the pot.
Yeah, so if you open up a low jack open and then what the button is supposed to call with, look at the ranges here.
Yeah.
Say low jack open, what's the button supposed to call with? This is the buttons. Like I would just
All these,
all the
these suited stuff.
yeah, I would just 3-bet all my king queen suited, king jack suited, king 10 suited, all of them.
Sure.
Anything that's calling, I 3-bet.
Yeah, yeah, you basically play this range.
That's how you adjust to these fuckers.
Yeah, yeah. If you take this range to the button and just play it like the cutoff, you're fine.
Yeah.
All right. So our big blind with the big blind call, we are now want to be in Prometheus land, the land of Prometheus.
Mm.
Because we wanted to see that check raise flop situation. Okay. So the way we're going to set up this solve is we're going to make this low jack button big blind. That's the only thing we can do to do it. And the flop becomes the lovely 9-3 deuce club spade diamond. 3 deuce. On the 9-3 deuce, your big blind has an insignificant amount of donks, which strangely include ace 10.
That's what you did.
All right. He has an insignificant amount of donks, which makes our initial raiser have an insignificant amount of donks.
I think this, yeah,
C-bet.
this is, we
That
know
would
this
be
is
a
a high
C-bet.
check board
Yeah.
in heads up, so.
Right. So he checks, including his deuces, and our guy did. Now, does he go? This guy stabs wide, including his 10-9 suited, which he has, which is going to be the equivalent. So he bets this, he would bet the small size. And so against the small size, just really quickly, fold. And now our deuces never slow play against a small size. Just never. And this seems smart. And we all agree 100% on this. The question is, when this guy says, I love my hand, do we go, great? So do I?
Yeah, I'm thinking sometimes.
The
I'm
twos
not gonna lie,
call.
guys.
The twos call.
The twos are trapping, but they might actually be there might be a tiny bit of fear in the twos with this, because the threes go for it and the nines trap. These are traps. These are traps. These are value. And are these pure traps?
Okay,
We'll see how he plays later.
Because in my game, I go broke when I have bottom set.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with
But
that.
he may be trying to grow. He may be trying to do this just in another order. This may just be pure trap like this. It's like you say, I want to bet half of my sets and check half my sets. So I'm going to do middle one pure, the top one, half of them, and the bottom one.
Interesting, because like I always fast play my sets.
Yeah. Right. He calls.
So
when
maybe
I'm
playing wrong.
Yeah. When he calls, I don't think you're playing very wrong. I don't think you're playing very wrong at all.
You're
When
not
he
playing
calls,
wrong if they're unbalanced. That's how you exploit them.
Yeah.
I'm totally an unbalanced player.
Yeah, but
as you should be. As you should.
They can't spell balance, so forget it.
ALANS with an apostrophe, I believe. All right. So now let's see the donk of the twos on our lovely 6 of diamonds.
No, he didn't. He was
He donked it.
Like-
There is
Wow.
no.
Well, no, he's a C-better,
yeah, he was a C-bet. I wanted to say that.
No,
not a
the
donk bet.
lines
It's a C-bet. Oh, turn. You're talking on a turn.
I'm on the turn. Yeah,
Yeah, that is a donk. Yep.
yeah. The turn.
lead,
The
yeah.
turn. Maybe it's a turn donk, even though he was the initial raiser. He check called and then he bets out, and that does not exist. There is not a bet out on this board.
So the twos.
And you checked and it's not the hand that doesn't do it. Because remember when we checked our 9 sum and we checked our 3 sum, we just don't do it. The 4-5 of spades does it. And given that no other 4-5 does it, I think if you don't do it with a 4-5 of spades, you're fine. And you also never have the 4-5 of spades here. So
But so choose check on the flop and check on the turn.
so far, yep. And
Like,
it went
that makes no sense to me because
Well,
usually
to
I try
somebody
to
who
win
made
the-
that big bet.
we never checked to the small bet.
really because I usually just try to shove money in when I have
Mhm.
a set on a board like this.
Right. But if you checked it, if you slow played it, would you come out now and bet it?
Okay, I have an almost never slow play
Right.
because they
That's a
call
great-
too much.
Then you
That's
don't
a
need
great
to know
strategy
this.
to have in your games, Derek. This is against two players that are playing perfectly balanced ranges, and you're like we've talked about, people at
You
your
don't
tables
need-
don't
don't
even know how to spell
need-
balance.
No,
Yeah.
don't worry about you. We donk the deuces or not on this turn. Does
Right.
not matter. Just
Okay.
when they bet big, just put the money in.
So I think that was all we wanted to see. We wanted to see was when we checked, do we do the donk, and we don't. So it's the check raise most of the time. And if you're going to play, and if you're going to slow play him, you continue the slow play. And let's just see against this, let's see if the deuces were then just doing it if the deuces were doing it for full confidence. So he bet there. After his big bet, his most common size is big. So he bets big again. And now our nines do a little bit of the raising. They lose to 4-5, and that's all. The deuces just call.
Wow.
And on the river, which we did get to, on the Queen of Spades river, your deuces yeah. So if you
Wow.
slow play, you continue. If you do a slow play, you continue your slow play line with all of your hands. So if you're slow playing it, you stay consistent.
So you're just trying to get one more bet. Is that the idea?
I think maybe the better way to put it is you're protecting your checking range.
Oh,
Maybe that's what you're doing. I mean, you're never folding your
maybe
deuce.
I'm overvaluing sets.
No, you're not. No, you're
So I
not.
just shove all the money in.
You're not overvaluing your sets at all.
I just get a shovel and shove chips in.
You're
They're
allowing
big.
your opponent to play to bluff is what you're doing.
My opponents aren't aggressive.
You're right. That's what
I know, but that's the point we're making, Derek. In
Okay.
your games, playing balanced is not the way to go. When
Yeah,
you're playing
yeah.
a good player who's aggressive and is going to have a balanced range of both bluffs and value, then this makes sense.
Okay.
And then go to the hijack and see what he bets. The river.
Okay. So we checked. Oh, what his bet was. So his all-in range was he bets the sets that he has left. He bets the straights that he has
Okay.
left. He bets the sets that he has left. He bets his bluff.
Ace five.
He doesn't bet queens. He bets his bluff, his bluff, his bluff, his bluff. So here's two. So the reason you need to protect your check back range, Derek, is that if you don't, and you're playing against opponents who will see your check as weakness and who will always bluff you off it, you are giving them permission to do this. But if they're not going to bluff, you don't need to protect your check back range. Further, you don't get the advantage of being here with twos when they bluff off all their chips with ace 5, ace 4, king jack, and king 10. If your people are not going to do this, which you have told us they do not, and I believe you that they do not, then the value of you having your deuces left is gone down to 0. So you absolutely don't want to play like this. I'm repeating what Mike said, just in a different order and with less hair. Okay.
Mm.
You're confusing him. Don't show him these things. Keep playing.
All right. Up next is we've done Derek, Bogdan, Richie's there. It is Dean. Dean is up. All right.
All right.
I go in the correct direction and I give you this.
3 people are getting here. Okay.
Who's the hero?
Me.
Oh, from the button.
Yeah. All right, Dean, what do you want to do? What do they want to, what do you want to do? And then what are they going to do?
Man. It's a toss up between Jack 10 and Ace 3 opening.
Let's see which one does it. The Jack 10 can open, and he does. That is technically too early. 1-2, there's only a sliver
I know, Mike,
sliver
but
of Jack
that is
10
the only
and
way it's
hijack.
gonna make it multi-way.
Yeah, but he goes for it. And also, I'd like to point out one thing, that sliver of a Jack 10 only exists in the 2.5 open. The 3 open does not have any Jack 10 in the hijack, right? Not even a breath of it, I think. Let's just, before we go any further, we'll just look at that in our lovely GTO world. So in the 2.5 world, there's your little bit of Jack 10. In the world of 3,
Well, it's there. They're good.
but he opened a 3. In the world of 3 at NL 100, there ain't no Jack 10 in the hijack.
Mm,
No Jack 10. No Jack 10. But he does it.
and since Hero doesn't know he's opening Jack 10, he's not gonna 3-bet him.
Yeah.
Not even low jack. He's one further out.
No, he's hijack. He's hijack.
Was there a missing hand in between?
Yeah, there's nobody here.
Oh,
There's the cutoff. There's the, yeah, he's in hijack. He's made the hijack mistake. All right.
Fold.
Fold. Good.
You're gonna call.
Yeah, I can call.
Mm-hmm. 10-8, obviously.
That seems like a good call. 10-8.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
That seems good.
2 gappers suited.
That seems fine.
you should really
Check,
cover
check.
hands, man.
Check, check. Hero. You should check, but never know with you, man.
Never know with me.
Gonna call.
Hopefully I will only lose that much.
Fold, yeah.
Ah!
Please hit
Ah!
a 10. Please hit a 10.
Yeah. Hit a 10. Come on, 10.
Oh, of course.
Oh, oh.
Every check through, unless he bets for some weird reason because he hit his jack.
He checks to me. I have figured out that I'm dead.
Mm-hmm. Check. Bet. Fold. Call.
No, because
Oh.
No, this is not the.
I play so bad. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do this.
No, it's a fold.
Because I look and I go, his hand doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't do this.
No, he. I mean,
So bad. That's so bad.
yeah.
Hey, at least you saved Dylan 14 some money. You should feel happy about that.
Yeah, I think if here you should consider raising.
Yeah, if you're not closing the action, I think hero calling's not a thing to do there.
Because he opened and then he checked the flop to you. You bet. He overcalls.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That means-
absolutely. I hate this guy's play. I don't know who this hero is. I don't know where we got this database. I hate it.
Misclick.
The majority of his range here is an 8 or some kind of a pair, like pretty much all the overpair, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, so I would just consider raising here. Like, how much do I need to raise to make like pocket tens fold?
I think a fold is better than a raise here.
You could say that, but he is betting 1/3 part. This is clearly a thin
Okay.
thin
I
value.
like the calling the flop. All right.
Okay. Mark Goons raises. Scotty makes the worst play. The call is the worst of the 3 plays. Yeah. Okay.
Because you could have bet a 4 on the flop, right?
Mhm.
Could have did a protection bet on the flop with a 4, like ace 4, and then you check back the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Completely reasonable. If you make it like he bet 15, he bets 5.5 into 18.5, which is like 23. You make it 43 big blinds. Is he gonna call with Jack 10? Does queens feel comfortable?
Nobody feels comfortable. Nobody feels comfortable without a full house or a 4.
Yeah.
I bet queens wouldn't fold though.
Yeah. bet.
The guy that's calling, you know.
The
range
overpairs, the
ten there
overpairs.
is not.
But he
40.
doesn't have a lot of overpairs in this line. So, I mean, I think our guys. Okay, so this
Yeah,
is,
true, they'll probably continue just
Yeah.
on the flop.
so this was. He's in the hijack. All right, so let's go hijack button small blind. And we have 8 of clubs, 3 of spades, 4 of diamonds. 3 of spades, 4 of diamonds. There we go. An unnecessary amount of donking to learn, and it's with the 8. From this, and this is the big blind, right? Yeah. Big. So big blind checks. Our lovely guy with his jack 10 is, so this is all checking to me. So let's see how wide the stab is. Let's see how bad those 6s are. Check. They're fine. Absolutely fine. Wide
Yeah.
stabbing.
Yeah, the flop, that was good. I like
All
that.
right. All right. So I did not follow the Jonathan rule of if you don't have it, someone else does, and pocket 6s here is not it. But it's GTO approved for a small size. Let's at least hope that I did a small size. I think I did.
You did.
Did.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You went for B33.
I did B33, and our size is
They typically use 25 and 66.
Yeah, I use 25. So we can use 25. I can start learning 25 there. The 33 came from DTO. All right. So we bet small. The 10-8 absolutely just calls, right? Yeah. And he's there with his call of his 10-8. And let's not even discuss the jack 10. Look at this. Look at Prometheus gives him a jack 10 here. But Prometheus is also opening 2 big blinds there, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So he raised, he did 3. I still fault his open. And I say that
And Jack 10 was in Wizard too, so it's not like it's too far off.
Jack 10 wasn't in, Jack 10 was in the 2.5 in Wizard, not in the 3.
Oh, not in the 3, no, right. But it was there in the 2.5, so you figured at 2x.
Right. But he did call. We get the jack on the turn. I believe it was the jack of hearts, like it matters. No, he has the jack of hearts. It's the jack of spades. Oh, that does matter. Cancel. Jack of spades. There is no way that 6s bets the turn here. And if 6s don't raise the river, this is to Sam. If 6s don't raise the river, I don't think that's a good argument against your raising the river, because you're making an exploitive bet based on his size that the solver doesn't use against population. So I think your raise is still valid, whatever the solver says, because you're.
I don't think the solver would take a small size on the river, because a solver against a solver, you're gonna get raised sometimes.
So there's the check.
And I'm arguing that when they use this size, it's thin value. So you should really consider raising.
Right.
Especially the river card, kind of looks like it could hit you. You could have 4 or 5 there,
6s back off now. Just like we did. That makes total sense. Then we get the queen on the river. Was that what it was?
4.
Oh, it was a 4. That's right. 4 of hearts. What was the other hand? 4 of hearts. 4 of hearts. Everybody's in. And I should have had a lot more awareness that he was betting into 2 players. The small size was just too enticing for me, and that's a mistake. Okay. So he now he protects his checking range with 4s because he expects somebody else to do something.
Look at how much he turns some hands into a bluff here. Look at his 8s.
8s are,
look at his 8x hands.
That's not a bluff, is it?
Is this the big blind?
This is a big blind.
Yeah.
First act. He bets out with his eights for the small size, all of which my sixes need to fold to. His bluffs are here. Here are some bluffs. 9, 10.
Oh, that's right. The turn went check through. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bluff. Blocking 10 jack, 9, 8. There's a bluff. King, queen. I'm hoping worse kings do it also to try to get the king, queen to fold. No. Here we go. Queen 9. There's your bluff. King 9 is your massive bluff. The eights are a pair. King 10, not bluffing. King 9 bluffing. Don't know. Okay. So he checks. We get the bet here. We get the bet is small.
See, very, very few, right?
Yeah. We're going to,
Most of them are betting big.
yeah. So we're going to look at these two and we're going to look at both these to see. Again, because his size was halfway between these two. It was 5. But also the pot was bigger. So maybe the 6 is there. Okay. So he bets and the 6s mix on that size. But nobody goes for that raise that isn't there. The raise just isn't. We don't do your exploit, but that doesn't mean your exploit is wrong. It just means it's not GTO. Now we'll go back to against this size. And against this size, the 6s fold pure. 9s and 10s. You got to beat an 8 here. And so his actual size was 5.9. It was just under a third. So the third size is here. Yeah, it's against this size. So bad play, but you know. Heart club.
Yeah, exploitatively good fold.
Exploitatively better fold. In-game better fold. Logic-wise better fold. GTO, it's okay. So, yay, Scotty GTO Meltzer. Woohoo. All right, up next is that was Bogdan? Yes, that was Bogdan. So going down.
No,
we
it's
have-
not. It wasn't me. Sorry, guys.
Previous one?
I can. No, not me on this. It
No, you
wasn't
do.
me.
Oh,
Dean?
it was Dean. It was Dean. You guys went out of order there. On my board, it just changed it. So it's going to be Skate is next, then Sam, then Arcturus. That's going to be the order as we go through. So Skate, I give you this. No, I lied. I give you this.
Okay. Okay. What's up, guys? Morning. I know it's already afternoon now. All right, so let's go with let's open. We're gonna fold everything. We're gonna fold everything else. 6, 7, 5. See you 5, 4 there. Okay, 5, 4 has slivers. I guess that's what you're trying to say. I imagine it's gonna be very, very low, like 10%, maybe even 15. Let's open.
I'm going to say 25 in the low jack.
Really?
I'm going to say, yeah, low jack 25 in the 5-4. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm gonna say 20.
All right, let's. Oh, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Jeopardy me. Okay, so we're low jack. Here we go.
I'm not confident. I'm just
Yeah, that's fine. We'll go to 2.5. We'll use this.
competing.
5-4. Who's closer? Oh, right there. 22.9. I got you by 0.4.
We're not split?
No, we're not split. 22.5 is the split.
Price is right rules. Skate
Yeah.
wins.
Skate wins under Price is Right rules.
Okay, yay.
I win versus close rules. So there we go. Okay. So I raised.
Yeah, even if 5-4 would have folded, I think 6, 7 off would have been a fold. I think you need suited.
Totally
Okay.
agree.
All right. Just gonna fold around to Queen 10 in the small blinds. Versus middle position. No, I don't think solver's gonna like queen 10. Solver's gonna like king 10, king jack, definitely, and maybe even, I don't know, maybe king 9, maybe? No, yeah, king.
Good eye. Good
Yeah.
eye. Really good. Really good. I thought queen 10 was going to be in there. That's really good. Shape.
Yeah, because I remember queen 10 is the worst of the Broadway. So,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
that's how I remember.
That's really nice. Okay.
Jack 10 suited, no, Jack 10 suited is not there.
Right.
I guess I want a blocker, queen or king or.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the logic of this says that if you were going to raise the queen 10, if you were going to play the queen 10 suited, it's a better raise than a call. It's a better fold than anything, but look at what surrounds it.
Mhm.
So of the three choices, he's made the worst, which makes the threes super happy.
Yeah. But threes are too low of a pair to even ISO, so let's go ahead and flat.
I love it. I love the call there. And do these little pairs have anything? No. This is great. Look at them all.
Not even 10s jacks is going to start ISOing. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're just happy. You get to see a flop. This is great.
Let's do it. All right.
Bad play is rewarded.
Yeah. That plays reward is, I believe they're going to check standardly, especially with another, oh no, even, I guess not. Okay, they bet. Threes is going to get out of the way, especially in the sandwich. 5-4, they have a pair. No backdoor. Facing a donk. I think a donk with that other villain in sandwich is especially strong. So they should fold to this size. If they had a backdoor, maybe they could call it, but yeah, good fold. Good.
Exactly. So let's see if the 5-4 of clubs and 5-4 of hearts call there, maybe. And maybe even that's not enough.
Right.
To just under half pot. Okay.
Yeah, no.
1, 2, 3. So Prometheus, my friends. Prometheus. We're going to do low jack. We're going to go here. We're going to go low jack, small blind, big blind. We're not going to see. We'll see if Prometheus has it. Remember, Prometheus is raising, is opening 2 big blinds here. And so the pot is smaller, and that means the small blinds range can be wider, which is good for us in our studying because we get to see the mistaken hands are still there. But maybe at this small, maybe the queen 10 isn't even a mistake. All right. The flop is jack of clubs, 10 of hearts, 5 of spades. Well, it's 5 of spades. And I will predict that the queen 10 does not donk, but it does a little bit. Okay. So he has in this mode, he has queen 10 suited because it was only 2 big blinds. And yeah, he donks some of them. Great, good for him. He bets extra small, smaller than my guy did by half the size. Not half the size because the pot was bigger. So yeah, he bets smaller than my guy did. Threes, all these, everything folds. Even 9s fold in the sandwich. He has to fold all the way to 9s in the sandwich. And my 5-4, oh, this is painful. 5-4 continues even without.
Yeah, maybe we can make an adjustment because maybe population is not stabbing as wide as solver. No?
See, here I would make an argument that when he does this, you should just raise with everything.
Okay, tell me what. Because I hate that. I hate that idea. Tell me what.
I know you hate it, but I'm telling you,
Wrong.
I'm telling you, when they donk like this, they don't have their top of the range. When they don't have the top of the range, and it's mostly like these kind of hands, you should just consider blasting.
Okay, so with that logic in mind, am I better off blasting against it, or am I better off calling and then blasting on the net? Getting more.
So
shutting them down now, or am I better?
That'll depend on if anybody's behind me. Here, the small blind donks, the big blind folded, I would just blast them.
Okay. If said Habs were here, I think you would get some support. Anybody else want to speak in favor of the blast on the flop with not, I mean, the fact that I have 5 outs is less important than he doesn't have the top of his range. Anybody else like that move?
He doesn't have the top of
Yeah,
his range is what I'm arguing.
Yep. So
When he doesn't have that, I'm just gonna like let him have it.
Yep. So the argument is sensible and the argument is clear. Let's see if anyone else agrees with you on it. And again, I'm going to speak out for Set Habs, who is not here. Set Habs agrees with you. Anybody else?
I like a raise on turn.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm definitely not folding here, even if I whip the flop with the guy with the big blind folded. I'm just calling with everything.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
think-
not gonna win this hand because, you know, unless a king or a queen turns,
I think
then I might consider stopping because most of his donk range is hands like, you know, king 10, queen 10, king jack, that kind of shit.
I mean,
If he's
so
got-
he's
if
put
he's got
himself in
two-
a tough spot because he's now gonna have to show the value of his hand somewhat on turn, and we can exploit that and begin to raise on turn.
If he has if he has Jack 10 or better, he was gonna check and try to check raise. He wasn't gonna bet out. That's your argument, right, Sam? Just to make it clear, is he doesn't do this
No,
with pair and he doesn't do this with over pairs.
Yeah, I'm saying that he doesn't have Jack 10 here and he
Right.
doesn't have a set here. When
He
he
doesn't have
when he
that, right.
have that, like they mostly go for the check raise.
Gotcha.
Which is dumb. Which is when you play against these fuckers, when you hit those hands like Jack 10, if you call or if you have pocket 10s, you just consider donking.
Right.
Because they would never do that.
Yep. So in solver land here, we have all the pairs between 5s and 10s basically calling. This little sliver of folds here is ignorable. So they all call, and all your paired 5s call with their 5 outs, whether they have the hearts or not. They take Samuel's line with additional equity. So your idea there, Sam, is solver approved, but the solver would like to have either
Yeah, a backdoor, right?
the additional equity of a backdoor or of the upper backdoor, but not of the middle backdoor. And
Yeah,
no backdoor is
so-
okay. That's interesting. So yeah, so it prefers a backdoor to take this line, but it doesn't require it.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is if you plug this in the solver, put his donk lead range and just up the queen 10 donking frequency by like just 20%. I guarantee you that the solver will say in position should just raise with everything.
Right.
Can I-
And
can I
also,
just-
you're also saying take away this part of his range.
Yeah,
Can I
like
just ask something?
what is his donking range? What are the
This is the donking range.
and then he had like
Right.
pocket
He's not-
pocket
yeah.
10s, pocket jacks.
Yeah.
Pocket what 5s?
Mostly top
I
pair.
say if you just reduce
Exactly.
if you just reduce it by just a little bit, like 10%
Yep.
of
Yep.
his donking range, the top of his donking range, the solver would just go crazy.
Yeah. He doesn't have, your argument is he doesn't have this sliver, and probably doesn't even get here with queens.
Yeah, I'm arguing that he had none.
Yep. That's clear. Okay. Next hand is Arturus. And interestingly enough for me on this, just as before we go by, I would have felt before we looked at the range, had I called this, I would have felt embarrassed in front of you guys. I would have said, why am I doing this with Jack? You know, I don't even have the back door. And this hand not only called, but had some raising. This was
Yeah, but the thing is, you're looking at the hand value. You're looking at your hand value instead of. thinking
How did they
about
find
their
out
range.
those raises?
Huh?
Say
How
that
did they
again.
how did they find those raises? I just totally missed those raises. Like the way it broke out with the 5 of
The argument is, it's Samuel's exact argument. It's just for Samuel's argument, it's even more extreme because he doesn't have this. For the solver, he doesn't have this very much. That's where it comes from. And they are all five, and remember, they're all at least 5 out draws. Because the pairs don't do it. So that's the thing to take from the solver part of it, and then the thing to take from Sam's part of it is Sam's argument. So
So my argument is he will have queen 10. He'll probably have something like pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s that would do this at some frequency. Instead of the solver doesn't do it at all.
Right.
And I'm saying that he doesn't donk with pocket 10s, or if the solver donks 10%, he's probably donking like 5%.
Yep. That's absolutely
And
clear.
if you make those adjustments, the solver would just go cuckoo nuts.
Yes. So we are last to act, right? Because he bet out, we get the fold. It's on us now. And now okay, I was wrong. There's raising in the pairs also. So your pairs all do some raising.
He just goes, fuck you.
It's reverse. Oh, sorry, that's the set. Your pairs all do some raising. Your 5, 4, and 6, 5, your bottom pair does some raising. Your middle pair does some raising. And your top pair does some raising. Not a lot. So you're raising across the world, but also you have to hope to execute this strategy. You want Sam's thing to be true, that he does not have top of range, and you also want him to have a lot of these bluffs. And what are the bluffs?
They're not gonna have the bluffs, but they're gonna have the crappy.
You want him to have.
hands.
You want him to have some. You want him to have a lot of ace 4 and ace queen. You want these hands there when you make this move. You do not want all these hands to check back. You don't want all these hands out of that range, because the more that range gets strengthened, the worse this move is. But again, the more the hands get condensed, even with strengthened, the better the move. And by condensed, I mean the more he's condensed around a 10, a single 10 that's going to fold by the river.
Pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 7s, all those junk.
All right. So that's that hand. And up next is Arturus. Arturus, I give you this. I give you this. I lied. I give you this, Arturus.
Five's open. I need 3-bet me.
Yep.
Okay. Big blind squeeze.
I'd love a big blind squeeze here. I think that big blind squeeze here is such a good idea. He doesn't. I think a big blind squeeze.
Nice ranges. Range check. Villain 15. Big better check probably. Maybe some blocking as well. 5 spear check. 9-8. Dicey spot. 9-8 could be better.
Yeah. So Jonathan Little says, my understanding of Jonathan Little says that this is a check because it's marginally made against 2 players. And our study has shown us that this has a lot of betting. There's a lot of stabbing from this position. And the 9 is going to be good enough, we think. We'll find out.
The only thing difference about this one, Scotty, and some of those other ones that we've seen where they were 70% is that this is still a good flop. Oh, wait, ace queen's in the big blind, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But
it's not a flop for him.
Yeah. It's still good for the original raiser though. So he may not have as much stabbing.
Yep. We'll take a look at that. Okay. But he has read but he has done a solver and sees the stab, but he does not know the sizing. I don't think that's the right size for 9-8. We'll find out. And it's back on Arturus.
Ace queen raise.
Right. And would you consider calling here because of his size? You're never folding. We got that.
No, not really.
Okay. So when we run this, my prediction is going to be that against the small size, we do a lot of raising. Against the bigger size, we do a less raising, but we still raise. And the hand that raises less often, that calls more often, is going to be with the ace of diamonds. That's my prediction. We'll find out.
I think actually with the ace of diamonds, you're supposed to raise more often.
All right. It's between Samuel and me on that one. We'll find out. We'll find out that one.
Deeper stack, higher equity is better.
He takes the raise.
When we push equity, I don't know if we need diamond.
Yeah.
I
If
think
we-
you-
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, good. 5's fold, 9-8 fold.
Yep, good. All right. We're gonna do this one. The only difference is that we have to put
No, you're good for this.
right, low jack. Oh, we do have cutoff button. Great,
Yeah,
cutoff button. Big
Cut
blind.
off button, big blind.
All right, perfect. Cut off. There we got to turn everybody off to cut off button, big blind. There it is. Cut off button, big blind, and a flop of queen nine of diamonds, four spades. Diamonds, four of spades.
Oh, by the way, does cutoff have in cash games big bets? Okay, we'll see.
Does cutoff have big bets? Do you mean on the flop?
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. We'll find out in GTO how it works. All right, so there are no donks on this board. This is not a donkey board for the big blind. And by the way, Mike, is the thing where we saw the donks that when it was the small blinds range, when it was you know
Yeah,
position small blind big blind. So we haven't seen any donks from the big blind in any of these
yeah,
configurations.
not as much, yeah.
And the small blind has a much tighter range, so that could be something.
Yeah, I remember you had theorized because they are so dense in their pairs and, you know,
Yeah.
larger type cards.
Yeah. Whereas the big blind has this
A lot
one.
of junk, still a
This-
lot of trash.
The small blind doesn't have any of this. All right, so there's our check. Our initial better is okay, so that's let me make sure, remember what we have here. Yes, so now we're on the initial better. So he gets to bet out. So he gets to do some betting, looking at his queens. They mix all the way down. You know, they are roughly linear, but really they're just dense, and then they kind of fall off at the bottom on his queens. His nines, half the time go for it. His set slow plays a little. His set mixes there. That's where you get those. His two pair doesn't even bet pure. And in this case, he checked his fives. Now, our guy here has his 9-8 suited. He doesn't even have it pure here. You were wondering, you had talked about making this a 3-bet. Is that right, Arturus?
But, oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know ranges. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see what that would have been. This was cutoff. So cutoff rate, so change. Here we go. Nope, that's right. All right. We want to go fold cutoff raises. Button with the 8-9. We don't have it here in this land. This was an extra small one. This was a 2 big blind open. That's what he actually did. And now our button still doesn't like the 8-9. But in your idea, you'll see that the 9-8, the 7-6 do exactly what you were thinking. A lot of raising, a little bit of calling there. Okay. So we are back to Prometheus. Prometheus, when he gets here with the 9-8, gets to bet it. Regardless of suit. And our guy did, and he bet healthy. So so sizing. He has big bets. He has plenty of big bets, and the range has plenty of big bets. So this is very much not like DTO Wizard. The board is two-tone. The board is wet, meaning it has flush draws, straight draws on it. And the board is dynamic, meaning the next card could easily change the nuts. So he makes the choice of the big bet. And now we have no ace queen. We squeezed all our ace queen away, which is what we wanted to do.
King queen raising.
So king queen is the equivalent of it. And king queen does a lot of calling and some raising against the small. So let's look at his frequency globally. The king queen's betting frequency, can we see it by hovering over it? Just like that. Does that let us do it? No. In this tool, we cannot see what the overall king queen betting frequency is. But we can
click on it.
look at this. If we click on it, we get it for each hand. We don't get an overall frequency, do we? Nowhere to
overall.
Right. So let's send that note to Prometheus because that's an easy fix. Overall bet freak for a hand. All right. They'll add that. That's an easy change for them to make. And that's really useful. Okay. Just stick it right up there, but just sort of looking at it, eyeballing it. Let's look at that compared with the smaller size. We know it's going to go up. So let's just see how that happens. When our guy here, instead of betting big, he takes the line of here. He takes the smaller bet size. Now our king queen. That's more, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
And I believe that Sam wins the diamond argument that we bet more often with the diamond than without it. Let's see if that's true. King of diamonds, king of diamonds, king of diamonds. So 70, 88. Oh, sorry. Here's the raises. 29, 7, and 7. And the offsuit ones without the queen of diamonds. 16, 1, 16, 17, 17. I'm not sure who wins the argument. Looking at this, Sam, it looks about equal. The queen's suit made a huge difference.
You don't have the ace.
Yeah, it's not the ace, so that fucks it up a little bit. But yeah, so I think we don't know who. I don't know which of you and me are right.
Well, the deeper you are, the more equity you want when you're out of position, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we have this weird problem here of the.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to cost.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, so I just think that you and I can't settle our bet. All right, let's move on. Okay, so with this, our guy did do the raise. It does exist. His particular combo is based on the queen's suit. So just for fun, we're going to see. With the queen of hearts against the bigger size, that the one you like to do a lot. So go back to this node, make it big. We're the immediate follower. So we're in the sandwich. And we have the equivalent of king queen, and we have the heart. We have the diamond heart. King of diamonds, queen of hearts. Yeah, does some raising. And when it does it, it really likes to go to around 10 BB off that. So he does the 15. All right. And the hand is over. Up next is Samuel.
What are we doing? Just guessing what the solver would do?
No, we're doing it. You go through. First thing you say is, how should they play the hand? And if you have a different opinion of how they will play the hand, you say what that is. So how should this guy, you just go right around the board.
Fold, 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 fold. I personally would fold this. But I think
I'm raising this pure.
yeah, it's an open. It's a okay open.
Yeah, I'm raising this. So let's see what he does before we move on any further, because that will affect the things behind us. He goes all the way to 3, facing.
Obviously, they're playing 10-9 off. They're opening king 10 off. So
Yeah. What should ace 10 do?
I would just muck here.
Yeah, I think
It should just muck here.
I like this as a fold.
Yeah, but when I see they're opening too wide, I would 3-bet.
Okay. This is not too wide though. This is not a too wide open. This guy.
It's fine. You can flat
Bottom
A7
of
suited. You can flat A7 suited. It's fine.
What do you want to do with it?
Just flat.
Flat it. Okay, he does. As the fold.
No. Yeah. I would fold. I think it should fold. Yeah, I would fold.
I think he should sort of fold 3-6, and I think he should call 4-6. That's where I.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, let's see what that is. Okay, so
How do you think the deeper stacks affect the hand like 2-gapper here, 6-3?
The deeper you are, the less you want to stay away from this hand, because you get like when big class is brewed, you're most of the time you're fucked. That's how I think about it. The deeper you are, the more you want to stay away from it.
Okay. So first of all, this is a 3 big blind open, so that's going to squeeze him down a little bit. King 10 solid. Oh, he's in the hijack, right? Yeah, hijack. King 10 solid in the hijack at a 3 big blind open. That feels good. The button doesn't have calls with these. You need better. So, and I think I would agree with this. I think I like this idea of playing the button this way and not the way he played it. Do you guys want to make the adjustment and play all those suited and call all these suited aces down here instead?
Yeah, versus some of the population out there, I think flatting you jumps in there with some better EV than a solver will tell you.
Okay.
You know, if you're playing against really good players, yeah, then I would fall more in line with what you see here.
Yeah. No, against our opponents, we're gonna be comfortable flatting all the ace 9s. We're gonna be comfortable raising these, and if we don't raise them, comfortable flatting them. And then these here, you're comfortable adding flats, and you're comfortable making the ace 8, 7, and 6 all look like the ace 8, 5, right? And the ace.
Yeah,
10.
as long as your blinds aren't going to be squeezing like they don't. They just don't squeeze enough. And I think flatting is better than a solver will tell you.
There's your flat there.
Yeah, I would the adjustment I would do to determine this is when I 3-bet A7 suited, do they call with king jack off? If they call with something that they're supposed to fold, then you 3-bet.
Yeah. I do like Sam's idea here against our opponents, instead of increasing our flat frequency, increasing our 3-bet frequency.
So from what I'm preaching before, you actually should 3-bet the A7 suited, because I think they're not holding king jack off.
So the 4-6, the 3-6 was out, which is what we suspected. The 4-6 at 3 big blinds was almost out, but at 2.5 big blinds was pure. And I think this was sort of the picture in my mind, because I'm so used to 2.5 big blinds. But it's not so this is a mistake, not a huge one. It's a mistake because 3-6 is too wide, and it's a mistake because it's 3 big blinds and not 2.5.
And do a quick check, change it to 200 or 150 or something, and just see if that makes us more.
I don't.
Yeah, go to oh, it's locked. Okay.
I don't have those. If you have those, we want to take a look at them. I just don't own them.
Yeah.
If you want to do it at 150, see how it changes. That'd be great. Okay, but he does this, and we are off to the flop with Samuel.
Yeah, hold on. I'm cleaning up my laundry room.
Okay, there we go.
A flop.
Yep. Oh, Flops a gut shot. Nice. Okay. So here's your flop. Are you there? Are you there, Samuel?
Yeah, just check.
Check.
Yeah, check. I would I would bet with the king 10.
He does.
I would bet with the king 10 and then obviously a7.
Yeah, this is to the bigger size. That's nowhere near enough equity.
It's not even supposed to be in there at the first place. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a mess.
Gut shot, no spade, big size, multi-way.
Not good. I mug.
Muck. Okay.
Yeah, I know most people don't. Unless you're willing to bluff when the front door flush comes in.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I am. I could.
I hope this guy triple barrels and takes it. Let's see what happens. All right. King 10. Are you folding now ever? You folding your top pair to a single check raise?
Oh, I got check raise.
Yeah. You got check raised big.
Big.
No, not
Yeah,
big. You got check raised medium size.
Yeah, for me, I'm really nitty.
So you're just folding here. All right.
Yeah.
And he
I
doesn't.
know the sovereign doesn't, but I'm saying they don't have any bluffs. Obviously, this guy has.
Yeah. The king of spades here also counts. If you had to make the decision to whether you were going to fold or raise, I think the king of spades makes your decision for you.
If you have the flush draw, the blocker. But my thinking is, if in the live situation, if I see this and I block the flush draw, I'm like, well, that makes him skew more towards value.
Yeah, but you have the king. This saves your ass when it goes runner.
Yeah, but combined with the fact that they're under check raising,
okay,
and he skews more towards value. I really don't care what the king of spade blocker.
Yeah.
So that's how I.
And here I'm thinking. So here's where I'm disagreeing with you, is if you view the king of spades as a blocker to his bluffs, then it's a better fold. But I'm viewing the king of spades as a saver, not a blocker. And I think that saver counts in our game.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
If he's check raising less often than the solver does.
Yeah. Which this guy isn't.
Yeah, this guy isn't, but you really got no number.
So now you're this guy. You're the 3-6. You're playing strong. You've decided that he continues for this side, that he is one pair at best, and you're going to get rid of it. You're going to make him fold. And you do this raise. So the pot is now 51 and you've got 118 behind. What do you want to do on the turn? You are 3-6, Samuel.
What is this? Oh, he's deep.
Yep.
I would bet small, like somewhere around half pot.
And then jam the river?
No, it depends on the because when I bet half pot here, I'm trying to keep his draws in.
Right.
And like 10. You would know.
Yeah. So I like the motion.
Hold on. Yeah. 你出嚟接佢啊。得啦，我買啦，我而家咪執緊。
So while so the problem is that when you bet half pot here, the pot goes up to 100 and you have got behind 88. 80, I'm sorry, not 88, 83 into 100. And you really wanted to have
83?
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is you end up with about an 80% bet on the river, and you really want 120% bet on the river to bluff here.
Oh yeah, I thought I also have him covered.
Yeah. So so maybe 20, maybe you sneak it down to 20 to give yourself.
Yeah, but I probably am not gonna go all in.
Yeah. He's not. He's decided he wants to take it now.
I might take a small sizing on the river as well, just to fold out his flushes, like a better flush with this hand.
He didn't need to. Got out top pair. All right. This is a lovely hand. Cutoff, button, big blind. Prometheus. Cutoff, button, big blind, Prometheus.
You might see 6-3 suited defending here.
You might, because remember, he only opens to 2 in Prometheus.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's go to the flop. Click on the flop. Here we go. And the flop is 4-2 of spades, 10 of clubs.
I think you want to hit reset.
I could have done that, sure. Oh, yeah, why don't I? Yeah. Let's go back to this. Let's just hit reset. Where does reset live?
Lower right.
Yeah, lower right.
Lower.
Above the check box there. Keep going right.
Reset.
There.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't hit it.
Doesn't exist. Go here.
Huh?
Reset.
There we go.
4-2 of spades, 10 of clubs.
Hijack button, big blind.
Hijack button, big blind. Hijack button, big blind. Thank you. Let's change that. Hijack button, big blind. 4-2 of spades, 10 of clubs.
You here? Oh.
And here we go. So big blind, no donks is our simplification. Our initial raiser.
You might
the
phone
king,
this away.
and he does not have big bets on this board.
Thanks, buddy.
So let's start with him doing what he did, and then we'll explore later. He does the big bet. And our ace-7 suited, which in Prometheus we have a little bit of, so that's nice. You need the front door flush to play. You do not fold the front door flush. You raise and call, and you fold everything else. Easy. You guys are in the way of the buttons. He folds. And now on to, there it is. There's the 3-6. And this is a good bluff, but you want to have backdoor equity to go with it, or real equity. You need the spades or the clubs. It's bad with the hearts, but good for him for finding it. The raise size is both of these. So the bet was, so on his size, in this thing, what size did he go? He went 4.29. And we would raise, so our raise would be to 15 in this world. So it would be the bigger size. So he goes to this size, the 15. And off of that, the king 10 does not fold. We don't fold yet. The turn is I would like this pot, please. It's the 7 I would like, the 7 I would like this pot.
I think we all know the king 10 isn't folding in solver land.
Might on this turn when this guy go, okay, so there is a 7. And can our 3-6 continue the bluff? So it's gonna be the 3-6 of clubs without picking up any additional equity now. What can we do? No, so we don't continue without the spade draw. But with the spade draw, we blast 26. And with this blast of 26, I think the king 10 is going to start to get indifferent. King 10 just folds. Great. Just lovely. All right.
Did the spade matter on the check raise? It didn't. No, it didn't matter.
For the, oh, for our, on the flop, let's see. Let's go back to the initial check raise move, this one. So this is the node we want to look at. 7 of hearts, check. Okay, so before that, we want to see this call. So he bets, And I want to be on. Let me make sure, who am I on? I'm on the hijack. Yes, there's the check raise. So there's your king.
A little bit.
You.
King of spades makes the call easier. You see the indifference sneaking in without the king of spades.
Right. If you don't have the king of spades, you've got a little folding. The king of spades makes a difference. Not a huge difference because we're going to call. And on the raising, the little bit of raising, it's an unimportant thing to do because we're never going to raise here. Okay. Now, what happens if we bet the actual, the correct size? Is that worth looking at on the king 10? I think that's worth looking, just a beat of this, because his real size is this. He bets this size. We still get the fold from our ace 7. You need the spade to continue. The 3-6 still comes in with a raise. Same hands raise. It does it, I think this is more often to the smaller size. This is more often than I remember it. And that makes sense. So he does it, and his size is almost always to 8 big blinds here with the club version, which is the closest thing to what we have. So here comes the 8 big blinds against this when the king 10 comes in. And now you do more, there's more folding here? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
More folding when you don't have a spade.
Right, but there's more folding to the small size than the big size?
And there's also more raising in those other two combos.
And there's the raising with the 10 of spades. But no king of spades. King of spades is too good, 10 of spades, like that. But this is correct. This is interesting to me that we call with the king 10 less often to the small size. Because his check raises are different against our big size check raise. That's why. It's his range change. Okay. Lots of raising here. And if you have the king of spades, you never fold. If you don't have the king of spades, you sometimes fold. Okay. That was Samuel.
Got
Is
it?
there anything else we want to know about that hand?
Yes.
Yes. What do you want to know?
Okay. So can you go check to the button on the flop?
So no bet.
Yeah, no bet.
Right. Check, check.
Okay.
Yep.
So here's something that we're starting to see. Okay, now we see big bets again.
Mhm.
And we haven't seen big bets in any other position except when you're in position against these checks. Multi-way, so multi-way, this is where we start to see the big bets coming in. Is when you're in position on the button, closing the action, or not closing the action, but you're able to close the action.
Right.
Right? It's something that I'm starting to see a little pattern too.
And question, Michael, did we also see it when it was small blind, big blind to you? So let's say cut off small blind, big blind when it goes check, check to the cutoff.
Yeah, I don't remember the hand before, the exact configuration, but it was the same situation where it checked to us, or checked to the button.
Right.
And then we saw this kind of spread of, small bets to big bets kind of thing. But we've never seen a big bet when we've been in earlier position and had a chance to see bet. We haven't seen big bets there when there's still somebody in position on you. It was the 9-8 hand. Remember the 9-8 hand? He had the big bets with a second pair.
It says overbet frequency. I wanted overall bet frequency.
Yeah, not overbet, but
yeah, that makes sure I remember what I said there. So this is our hypothesis here. And we'll see as we go. If this stays true. And was there anything else we wanted to see on this one before we move on, Mike?
Not me.
Okay. Let's take a look. Has everybody gone? Let me see. Who has not gotten a chance to go? Zoom. Go back to Zoom. Show participants. Here we go. Here are our participants. Give me a second here. It looks to me, Larry, Scotty, Mike, Art, Derek, Skate, Sam, Ricci, everybody's gone once. It's 12:09. This is Multiway. We've got another hour to do this afternoon with Jonathan. So let's stop here. And I'm going to stop the recording. Right. Zoom. Stop the recording. Skate, is there anything you would like to say before we stop the recording?
Sure. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And once again, may the poker gods be with you all at the table tonight.